2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Oh, you're muted.
What's the deal, Panther fans? Welcome to the basement. That's right. The Panthers are in the basement with these Panther fans right here, these basement Panther fans who are upset. I got to say this is first, thanks for all the support in the postgame show. Sad to see that interest for the Carolina Panthers on Tuesday night could be waning already as of after week 2. But we're gonna stick with y'all. Come on in, put your feet on the couch, folks. This is a free therapy session for you and us. We'll get through this. We've gotten through it before. I've done this before, man. I've done this before. 8-game losing streak. I've done it before. Wait, this is the second time. I'm even not doing a 9-game losing streak right here. So, hey, we'll be all right, folks, or it'll be all right. C3 will help you get you through it. The name of the show is The Panthers Are the Basement of the NFL. You can be a part of the show by calling in at 252-228-5098. Make sure you bring your best call. We're moving to the one-call format, as well as you can be a part of this wonderful chat. Subscribe, thumbs up, find the podcast wherever you get your podcast. My name's Tony Dunn, and I roll with my wheel man, Cody Lashney.
Tony Dunn, listen, if there's one thing that you can count on, it's death, taxes, and your Panthers therapy session, baby. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast. Come rain, sleet, or snow. Come hail or high water. This is what we do, man. We talk about this football team. And you know what, Tony? For a while, those of us who wanted Matt Rhule fired, we were kind of a minority. We were told that we were a little bit too quick to jump the gun and that we needed to give Matt Rhule some time. But boy, oh boy, how things have changed. And now the public media at large is all saying that Matt Rhule is a man doomed for the chopping block. But you know what, Tony Dunn? We're going to chop it up on the block here tonight with the very best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. You already know him and love him. It's our man, Drew, Lee 3, Dakota, Dan Floyd, Daniel S., DJ Fish Nipples, what's up? John B. Jenkins, Joshua Hall, Lawrence Trevette, KG7 Trees, Mossy Man 78 News, Panther Gal 73, Skunk Ape Mysteries, Y Big Jordan, 10 Tizzy, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
I want to welcome in Dakota to the podcast. He says, I'm new to the podcast. Dakota, this is the longest running Panthers podcast, man. And it's a show for fans, by fans. You're now part of the family, dude. Welcome in to the C3 family. Just like my brother from another mother with the golden pipes. CK told me things were not that bad after week 1. Have we? Are you softening your stance, hardening your stance? How are you feeling 2 days removed from another loss for the Carolina Panthers?
Well, if I didn't see the Giants or the Titans just take a shellacking by the Buffalo Bills, I would have said, well, the Giants did beat and we did almost beat the Browns. And we're 2 plays away from winning those games. Like, those are real things, right? We have I don't know if it makes it worse that we've lost in the manner that we have, because it makes it feel as though the stars are against us, right? That everything is going the wrong way from the Panthers, whereas everything's going up for the C3 Panthers podcast. It seems to be going down for the Panthers, and it sucks because I think the hardest thing as fans is to have an organization who literally reacts to everything. So what is one of the things that we talked about after the game, in the post game? We talked about heavily the lack of use from Terrace Marshall Jr., to Higgins, to Chenault, all these things, right? Mm-hmm. And then on Monday press conference, Matt Rhule basically just recites everything we've had concerns about. How is it that we fucking know this before they do? Like, we knew this watching the game. They needed this. We knew this last week after the Browns loss that they needed to get these guys more involved. And you're telling me now you're just now figuring this shit out? Like, that is what's fucking frustrating to me. Tell me that this isn't poor coaching, a poor organization, and the fact that this organization just blocks fans who show their displeasure with the fact that you have a coach that nobody believes in, that has proven nothing on any stage whatsoever, in any real capacity. Like, we're at the point now where I think I have seen more. Like, yes, there's going to be a lot of division on Baker Mayfield, right? There's going to be a lot of division on players. There was on Cam Newton, there was on Baker, there was on Teddy. There's been a lot of division on players. Right now, Panthers fans are unified that Matt Rhule needs to get the fuck out of Charlotte and go to Nebraska and do what he does best and build that program up in college, because he is not an NFL caliber coach. He has been outcoached in every game that he has played. And if we have won, we haven't won convincingly. And even if we won those last 2 games by a field goal, are you feeling good about this team, Tony?
No. We are definitely facing some headwinds right now, for sure. Like you said, it seems like everything that can go wrong is going wrong. And it really, what is just disheartening to me is I feel like we should just be better. Mm-hmm. You know, even in spite of these coaches, in spite of these things, I just feel like, man, the Carolina, how can they really be this bad? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I saw my boy Sean in the chat. He's a Jags fan, and I'm sure he's dealt with that sometimes. It's just like, why is it this bad? Now, they just blanked the Colts, the Jags, so I'm not trying to pick on them historically. But for the last 5, 6 years, whatever, 7, 10, it's like the Lions, you know, it's like, how can it truly be this bad? And I tell you, Matt Rhule's face, I can't stand it, man. And I feel so bad. Like disliking specific people when, you know, like they're trying. I mean, you would hope he's trying to win. You would hope, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like they're going out there and trying to lose. But man,
he's getting paid millions of dollars.
He got $62 million.
And by the way, he has a hot and fresh head coaching job waiting for him as soon as he's done.
I know. I have to remind myself that every time. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it's like, really, it's just like, how is it this bad? And I kept coming back to this, is I almost thought sometimes that coaching was overrated a little bit. Like, is that you said players win games, right? Players say that all the time. They think coaches get too much credit a lot of times. But I tell you one thing is, I don't know how it can be. Like, coaching has to have something to do with this at this point.
If you watch, here's the thing. I've been watching a lot of these former pro athletes breaking down film. Coaching fucking matters. And I'm sorry that I'm throwing a PG out the window, and we got an intro with Greg here as well. But like coaching matters. The complexities of football is pretty incredible. Like it is absolutely important and necessary for the success of a franchise. So that being said, Tony, I'll let you do your thing, throwing Greg in here.
Greg, the bat daddy, the stat daddy. I'll tell you this. I was telling my friend this yesterday. I said, he said, "What time did you go to bed after the game?" And because I couldn't stop drinking, dude. Like I was just like in such a mood. I watched a little bit of Sunday Night Football, then I watched House of the Dragon, and then I watched the game over again.
Ever, by the way.
I watched the game again in the condensed version. He said, "What kind of sick guy watches the game at 2:00 in the morning? That game again?" Greg, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right, man. It was funny because I think that it was like 1:30 in the morning, and I saw you had just sent a message, and I sent a message right then too, and I was like, "Wow, he stays up late like I do," because I'm up till like 1:30, 2:00 in the morning every night. Like,
yeah, but, and I'm struggling the next day.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad to see CK fired up about this so much, man, and it's so awesome. And I agree with him 100% on this, 100%. And y'all know I've been saying Matt Rhule this whole time, but the only good thing about being where we're at right now, I'm trying to find some kind of silver lining, is there's no more angst for this season. We're done. I know we're done. You know how you go through the season and you're wondering if you're going to make the playoffs, you're wondering if you're going to be a good team, you're wondering if you're going to make it. That's gone for me. I'm done. I already know the season is done. So I can watch the games and enjoy the games, and if we have a win, awesome. And yes, I'm pulling for the team, but I have no faith that we're going to put up any kind of a fight this year. And, all the angst is gone.
I don't think in the Panthers.
I feel defeated, man. I feel like, gosh, this is rarely have. I don't know.
I'm trying to put a lipstick on being defeated. Like put a lipstick on a pig here. Like yes,
just you're resided. You've accepted it. You've met your acceptance point. Like you just know that the marriage is over.
If I can add a bit of a contradictory point here, a year or two ago, whenever the Raiders fired John Gruden, they went on to make the playoffs. Barely.
That's a good point.
Barely, but they did. And it really makes you think, well, if we finally do what the Panthers always fail to do and rip the Band-Aid off before this wound starts to fester, if they actually do what they need to do, fire Matt Rhule, get a good interim coach. My preference would be Steve Wilkes. Get somebody leading this football team earlier rather than later, so maybe you can try and salvage together some semblance of a season. Because one thing is true every year that we've been bad. We have so much talent on this football team. And I feel like one of the questions now we're asking, is the talent going to waste? And are we even getting the most out of the talent that we should be getting out of them? Because I've noticed a lot of people on Twitter and on YouTube complaining that you see so many other players and coaches go to other organizations and they start to thrive once they get out from under Matt Rhule. So it really has us questioning so many things about this organization. It really just depends on David Tepper and how fast he is willing to act. I know one thing. I'm a firm believer that if the Carolina Panthers do not beat the division rival New Orleans Saints at home this week, who has a quarterback that's prone to throw many interceptions.
With a broken back.
Yeah, if the Panthers do not come away with a W, you are going to be witnessing Matt Rhule's final game as the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. And I believe that as sure as my ass is sitting here in front of you.
Can I tell you guys, there was one point not too long ago that I was hoping that maybe the Panthers would see value in fan-created content like this and maybe want to actually have some sort of a partnership with a show like C3 or PNP. Right now, I think anything coming from the Carolina Panthers is so toxic.
Yeah.
I don't think that it would be a good idea. And honestly, I don't want to be partnered with an organization that refuses to actually do anything that seems competent. Like there has been, I can't really, I mean, I think when we make these moves, there's optimism, right? When the year starts, there's optimism. Maybe this is the time that it's going to work. And I am forever the optimist. You guys know this. I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I gave Teddy Bridgewater the benefit of the doubt before everybody else turned on him. For like the first 5 weeks, I was on Teddy's side, right? And then I try my hardest to give these guys the benefit of the doubt. Even at the beginning of this year, I said, I kind of want Matt Rhule to do well. Like I kind of wanted him. I started to like him again. He started to say some stuff that got me energized, that made me believe maybe this guy can do something. And again, I'm tired of this optimism and constantly being taken for a ride because I'm over it. And I'm so glad that they want nothing to do with podcasts like this, because while we're succeeding in a lot of ways, the Panthers continue to fall flat on their face. They still have yet to get a headquarters. They've still yet to get an actual team together, a coaching staff that actually knows what they're doing. At this point in time, I'm happy to be here with you boys being able to do this in an independent manner and not having to worry about the clear weakness of the Carolina Panthers organization blocking. Like we got to talk about the blocking thing.
I almost don't know. I hope it's not true. But go ahead, Greg. You had a point, then we'll get on into the show.
I do. The only question I have, I agree completely. I want Matt Rhule out of here. I want him to be fired. But I got to ask, where does that leave us? If we did that like next week, where does that leave us? Does it limit the pool of potential head coaches that we could get for the future if we were to fire Matt Rhule next week?
No.
That's the only I only worry. It's already failed. Let him look bad. Maybe we need to let him look bad the rest of the season, and it opens up a pool.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe Greg's right. Do you want to do better at this point? If this guy's going to navigate you into the rocky shores, maybe that's the captain you exactly want for the rest of the season, rather than somebody comes in here and reels off 4 wins.
Yeah.
Are you asking that question for the fact of do you think it limits it because no coach will want to come coach here if they're afraid they're going to get fired after 2.5 years?
That's how I took this question, CK. That's how I took it.
Well, yes, that kind of, and it also makes me wonder, where would you go? If you're not, are you gonna who wants to take a job for the rest of the year unless you're promoting from within? And if you do, who's it going to be?
You have to promote from within. It's just going to be Wilkes. It's going to be Wilkes or Holcomb.
But also, can I say this? There are some people who think that we've held on to Matt Rhule too long as it is.
Right.
So the fact that this man is in his 3rd year and never really proved anything. I think that some could say that it would be right in line with when you would hire a head coach. And again, I'll reiterate, I think the earlier you do it, you're actually trying to salvage your season a little bit. You have talent. Get some other guys to get a different look. You know that the odds aren't going to look good. But if you can get your players playing at the right place at the right time, and you get a coach that can maximize their abilities, then we might be able to fix something. But I tell you what, if this season goes south, and we're not there yet, I want to reiterate, we are not there yet. But if we get to the middle of the season and the Panthers still aren't winning, oh, dude, it's time to start.
Well, if they don't win next week, it is south. It is south. I know it's not there yet because there's only 2 games into the season. Mathematically, the potential exists. But right now, and how Cody is the glass half full out of this bunch. What is going on?
Yeah, what the hell, dude?
Body snatched. Here, we're going to get into that. Who would replace Matt Rhule as an interim head coach? Would the job become less attractive by just parting ways so early? I don't think so. I think it's head coaching jobs, you just take them if you can get them.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. I do want to remind our show tonight is sponsored by Manscaped. Right? If you go to manscaped.com, you can get all of these awesome products. Like the Weed Whacker or the Lawnmower 4.0. And these are top of the line, high-end male grooming products. Folks, don't let yourself go just because the Panthers have let the season go potentially. Keep it clean. Be ready and fresh. And be ready and fresh just for yourself. it's just good to feel good, look good, feel good, keep it clean down there. You go to manscaped.com, you use the promo code Panthers. That's the promo code Panthers. And you'll get 20% off your order and free shipping. They have lots of cool products. Not only do they have great high-end male grooming products, they have like body care products like ball deodorants, right? They're, it's a man website. So it's a little edgy in the titles and the things like that. They like to have fun with this. They want you to keep it light, keep it fresh. And they got cool clothes. They got nice shirts. They got boxers. They got cool toiletry bags. All kinds of great products at manscaped.com. Take advantage of that. Panthers, 20% off plus free shipping worldwide. And that's one way you could support the podcast. Go buy a gift for somebody. Thanksgiving's coming up. I don't know if that's appropriate. Thanksgiving, Christmas coming up. At this point, Halloween's coming up. You might need to shave some sort of message to Matt Rhule in your, what? That would be a sight to see, I would say. But at the end of the day, look, help the show grow. Continue to get us sponsors. If we get enough support from Manscaped, they've articulated that they'll stick with us for the rest of the season. So right now we're kind of in a testing phase. So
we don't know where we're at. And so we know we need 8 for this month for 8 people to use the code Panthers. And so if you're one of those people, put your hands in the chat and let us know. We'd be interested to see how many people have been interested in getting into Manscaped. And also tell us what your opinions are on it, because we're honestly interested to see what people think about it. We love it. I love it. I actually was a Manscaped customer before they even became a sponsor. And I'm a big proponent of that. It's something that I think everybody should take an opportunity to look into and take care of yourself, man. That's the main thing.
Thank you, San Antonio Gato, with the great comment. He says there's nothing more breathtaking than a shorn scrotum. Man, let's just get into it. The Panthers are in the basement of the NFL. These are some I saw this headline pop up on Panthers Wire. Friend of the C3 Panthers podcast, Anthony Rizzuto's been on several times in the past. He wrote this story and it said, "Are the Panthers the new laughing stock of the NFL?" And as you peek around the league, I think we've lost 9 straight games at this point. But Matt Rhule, he's got to go up there. I feel like Matt Rhule maybe took the blame more than he has ever done in these press conference after the day or yesterday after the game, and then the one he did yesterday. Saying that, this starts with the coaches. We've got to do better. And then, they went down everything. We got to execute this. But he said he was being asked about changes in personnel. I think this was specifically geared towards maybe Shi Smith struggling with some drops, Chuba Hubbard fumbling even on the opening kickoff, who has not had the most sure hands. His hands, he's got hands that are so stonish they look. Ted Ginn looks like he got baby butt fingers, man. And Ted Ginn had stone hands. Matt Rhule's response was, "We're not at that point right now. We don't need to change. We need to battle through and push through. That is how you get over the hump. It is you just freaking push over the hump." I feel like he said something very similar last year. So you got battle through. Like right now, the question is are the Panthers the worst team in the NFL?
I don't know how you say that we're not. I mean, look, we talked about this a little bit.
But
there are certainly some teams that you can make the argument for. But still, some of those other teams, they have, more things going for them than even we do. If you look at the Carolina Panthers right now, not only have we not won in a long time, we have the longest active losing streak in the NFL, but we have a coach who has literally never proven anything. And by the way, we're not even a team that's tanking. There's a bunch of quarterbacks to be had in this year's draft, but there's no one name really that's kind of ruling above all else. At least not yet. CJ Stroud's kind of looking like that guy. Is looking like he's in the Heisman chase But I really just don't, what's the bright side to this team right now? We do not have a franchise quarterback, which I maintain that we don't. I am not a Baker Mayfield believer. Our offense, until proven otherwise, is still at its best when we're giving the ball to our running back and feeding him heavily. And then our defense has yet to produce a takeaway. Like, the Panthers are embarrassing right now in every way, shape, and form. You have up on the screen where we rank in the power rankings. And according to most people, we are the very bottom of the barrel. In fact, at least 4 teams have us, or 4 of those publications have us bottom 2. Like, this is as bad as I can remember it being. Listen, if you would have told us when David Tepper hired Matt Rhule that this is where we would be, I would have told you that the whole thing was a complete unmitigated disaster. And that is exactly what this whole thing has been. And it sucks because you want to be hopeful for everything going on, but you just can't have faith in this team, I feel like, with this coach basically doing everything in his power to make sure that we fall just short every week.
Yeah, I have to agree with you completely, man. I mean, I think I said it on Sunday on the post game. I don't think there's any team in the NFL I can see us beating. Like, I don't, even on our best day, like playing at our peak performance, I don't think that we could beat any team right now in the NFL. I didn't even think about what CK said a moment ago about how the Jets are, because I was thinking about like Jets being bad and like things like that. The Jets beat the Browns and Browns beat us. And then the Giants beat the Titans, and the Titans just got smashed by Buffalo. And I'm like, wow, we really, really are like the bottom of the barrel. But like, I can't believe, to be honest with you, there's even one that has us 27th.
I know that's kind of bizarre to me.
Yeah.
Is like, what are 4 teams that are worse than us?
Right.
Or 5 teams. TK, you said that there's an argument for somebody being worse than us. Who is that team?
Right now, I would say almost the Colts. The Colts have talent, and they have Matt Ryan, who is much more of a proven QB than Baker Mayfield was. They have head and shoulders a better offensive line by a long shot. They're missing some pieces, but this is a team that's been very similar in its movement, right? Going from one quarterback to the next quarterback, trading away assets to make it happen, paying the farm, and constantly doing this limbo. They have one of the best running backs in the league, very similar to the Panthers, and they still couldn't beat the Texans. And on top of that, they lost 27-0, I think, to the Jaguars. Like, it was not pretty, and it was quite honestly, like, there are people calling for, there is a very close line of who's going to be the first to go, either Matt Rhule or Frank Reich. And right now, the Colts should be good. Like, the Colts, by all accounts, should be a good team, and they are hot fucking garbage. Sorry again for the language, guys, but they are not. They looked bad. So
did we.
Not nearly as. How much?
They at least they have a better record than us.
They do,
because they tied.
Yeah,
but they also lost.
But they still have a better record.
27-0. Do you know how hard that is to not score a single point in an NFL game?
It is tough. I mean, it doesn't happen very often.
27-0. Yes, they didn't have Shaq Leonard, but they had everybody else outside of Pittman. They had one of the best running backs in the league. They have who is largely considered one of the better quarterbacks in the league, or at least in recent history, in Matt Ryan. And they have one of the better offensive lines. They're very similar to the Carolina Panthers in a lot of ways, except for they have a more proven roster and a more proven coach, and they still lost 27-0. Horrendous.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean, look, is that if you pull a team that I think has had the most that looks different than I expected them to, it's the Colts. I thought that they were going to improve. They've been that 9-8 team for last year. 2 years ago, they were knocking on the door to playoff. I thought they were going to get better. I do think that the Panthers look worse than I expected them to.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say if there's anything, you know how people talk about the best undefeated team? Like, so they'll go like, it'll be a 4-0 team, and you'll be like, that's, I mean, the worst undefeated team, like fraudulent 4-0. Mike Vella put the Bengals are 0-2. I would say that's like a fraudulent 0-2. Like, I mean, you know, is that it sucks? I mean, it is ridiculous. They lost to a backup quarterback with the Cowboys. They're kind of snake bit at this moment in that Super Bowl hangover. Joe Burrow, you know, but like, I'm not worried about them as in like they're not going to win a game this year.
Well,
I wonder at what point do we actually start legitimately having that conversation of, are we going to win a game? But I wanted to ask you guys this: is what was the worst performance by the Panthers, week 1 or week 2?
Week 1.
I would say week 2.
I think
because I feel like 2 years in a row we should have beaten the Giants.
Yeah.
And I still feel like we have a better football team than the Giants from a talent perspective. I still feel that way. But we're just chronic underachievers. And that one to me feels like we should have won.
Yeah. I would have to say week 2 as well, because for me, week 1, although we did lose and we didn't look good, we were down. We drove back and took the lead. And to be honest, I still feel like the game was taken from us because of a missed call. And I don't like to blame games on one call, but that would have changed the entire game. And that would have completely changed the narrative, at least in the first game, is that Baker Mayfield drove us down the field for the game-winning touchdown after starting slow. Now, game 2 was horrible.
Game 2.
Horrible.
But here's
what's strange, you guys are kind of strange about the game 2 is what was good in game 1 was bad in game 2, and what was bad in game 1 was better in game 2. So we just flip-flopped the problems because our defense stopped the run for the most part. They kept the team to 19 points. You know, they didn't win the turnover battle, but at the end of the day is like if you hold the other team in the NFL to under 19 points, I feel like your defense at least deserve to say that they weren't bad. Like, was our defense, did they blow it on a couple of things? Yeah, they continue to struggle on third down. Like, and they continue to struggle when they shouldn't. Like the Daniel Jones salting it away at the end with that run, looking like Kyler Murray out there or something. You know what I mean? Like there's moments like the defense isn't great when they need to be, but they held them to 19 points.
Right.
And according to PFF, did you guys see this? And again, I love this is PFF is one of those things that people love them when they like the stat and then they hate them when they don't like the stat.
Yeah.
But it said the Panthers had the best run defensive grade out of any team in the NFL in week 2.
Oh, in week 2.
But that's going to be my argument why I think week 1 was worse, right? I think our offense our offense played a little bit better this round. There was one explosive play that made last week or the Browns game feel like it was a better offense than it was, right? And that was really it. There was one explosive play, and that was a 75-yard bomb to Robbie Anderson. Outside of that, I think your offense played better in week 2 because we got Christian McCaffrey involved more, and they weren't. They were consistently getting into the red zone. They just weren't getting the touchdowns. They were getting stopped. We had 4 red zone trips. Like we were moving the ball as an offense. They just weren't sealing the deal. And then the defense showed tremendous progress from week 1 to week 2. Like it did get better. It just feels like it's worse because we lost to the Giants, whereas we lost to the Browns, who a lot of people would consider as a Super Bowl caliber team outside of Jacoby Brissett, which could change when Deshaun Watson comes back if he actually ends up being the same Deshaun Watson we've seen in the past. So I think largely the first week was by and large the worst, outside of the fact that we had that stolen by the refs. It was definitely the worst in my opinion.
I'd like to continue to encourage everyone to support the show. There's ways that you can support the show. Both just one way is just smashing the thumbs up button, folks. Is turn your phone to the vertical. If you're watching on your phone, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe, hit the bell notification. We're putting out a lot of content tomorrow night. Beat check. Alan Ulrich from Under the Dome podcast will be joining us to prepare for this preview, this Saints game. You can check that out Friday night. We got the Friday free-for-all, which has become a fan favorite. I think some people misunderstand it when they run across the show. I see some comments and they're like, what is going on? You know, like it's too crazy, things like this. But that it's meant to be. That's why it's called the Friday free-for-all. It's the show that the fans control the conversation. And when I say control it, they control it sometimes. They just run with it, man. I mean, tons and tons of people are in there.
Fight for your spot. Bring that opinion, bring the fire, and I'll do my best to pass it around to people.
And then after the games, we have the post-game show, which is like become a staple. Man, this post-game show, wildly successful. We might not have the most subs out of the whole YouTube planet, but we got some great, we're building a great community. It's because of you guys. Before the show started, we were 3 subscribers away from 4,200 subs. Think about how hard we fought to get to 4,000. That's crazy. So smash that subscribe button and consider joining to be a C3 super fan because we have look for $1.99 a month. You get kind of show your loyalty to the podcast. And I'm going to tell you, there are perks that come around with being one part of the inner circle. Just like tonight, a super perk for a super fan. Panther Pickle, we have decided that one of our super fans was going to get tickets to the Sunday game, courtesy of another super fan. This was a gift to the C3 show from a super fan to a super fan. Panther Pickle, you today, sir, if you can make it to the game, get 2 tickets to Sunday's game against the New Orleans Saints. Now, just know they're up, but that's okay. You don't want to be too close to this shit show. You might. You don't want to be too close. You want to be up there in the open air, bro. But these tickets for a C3 Superfan for just $1.99, you can continue to show your support. There's other ways to donate. Look down at the bottom. Cool stuff going. Call in at 252-228-5098. Let's go through some of the stats. You know, I went back and watched the game, and I got to say this, is Baker just wasn't good. And I know that you guys, Cody was a little nice to him, nicer, which I feel like this is like some way and somehow the universe has created this podcast, and it was necessary for this podcast where we don't agree no matter what. I mean, it just seems like it's like is that when I like Baker, he hates him. When he likes Baker, I hate him. Baker blew it. At the end of the second quarter, he made mistakes. He continues to have those happy feet that Cody had, that says he had, like where he feels the pressure, and he starts getting nervous. He's missed third downs. And look, at the end of the day, I don't care. He was awful. The series at the end of the third quarter, he missed the third down conversion. He had 48% completion rate, 145 yards, and somehow he's still not the worst player on our team. What is crazy about it is I actually feel like he gives us an opportunity to win more than potentially some of the past quarterbacks we've had, but he's been stinky, dude. Baker is burning. Man, he forgot to set the timer. He's burning his buns. Baker Mayfield through 2 weeks. What are we going to do?
Look, I mean, what can I say? You're right, Tony. You and I, we're like oil and water, man. You and I, sometimes we just, and you're right. We need to get this debate might take going again because I feel like there's a lot of them that we could go back and forth on. But listen, part of this is just because, you know, I feel like in the stretch, Baker made some good throws. Now, there were far less than the bad throws that he made. That's obvious. But, you know, he had on one drive where we finally scored a touchdown. I think he had a good drive. He threw a good ball to the back of the end zone. I like some of the things that he did. I like the fact that he doesn't get discouraged. And one of the things that I do
love that.
Sam Darnold, you knew that at the end of the game, he was going to play his absolute worst, right? And Baker Mayfield has played pretty stinky. But I feel like at the end of the game, Baker kind of plays his best ball. Now, as Greg alluded to on the post-game show, you can kind of make an argument that maybe Sam Darnold had been better through 2 games if you're looking at just purely statistics.
Actually, in every category, the Panthers had 2 wins. Both of them had Christian McCaffrey through 2 games.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that really could, more yards, more completions. I don't know Greg, can you look up Sam Darnold's touchdown number? Because I know he rushed for a bunch of touchdowns.
He didn't have a lot of passing, but he did rush for like 3 or 4.
Well, I remember he had 3 rushing touchdowns at one point.
He had 5 rushing touchdowns and 2 passing touchdowns through 3 games, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
It wasn't a lot of passing.
We're 3-0 to start, right? So you give them that. And I don't care. I mean, you could say they played crappy teams, but, so have we this year in many ways. So I think if anything is that, and the irony of this is that the offensive game plan has been pretty bad for the Panthers too.
Do you think that here's a couple of things? And again, as you guys know, I'm ever the optimist, and I'll play devil's advocate all day on these. If you want to compare apples to apples, let's also keep in mind in those first 2 games that Sam Darnold played, how often did the defense give up over 230 yards rushing to the opposing team? That makes it really difficult. Second is how you might say that these are bad teams, but can you really say they're bad teams at this point in time? Because the Browns have one of the best rosters outside of the quarterback, one of the best rosters in the NFL. We didn't have that against anybody.
13 points against they were up 13 points against the Jets with 1:37 left.
Yeah, first
and
time
they lost.
Yeah. Dude, that was
Which
crazy.
is crazy because we were up 1 point or whatever with 1:37 against the Browns, and we lost. And I was like, but that being said, I also want to point out we want to talk about the Giants being bad, but they've won their first 2 games. Can we say that they're bad right now? Because Daniel Jones isn't making a lot of mistakes. Saquon Barkley still looks good. Outside of their receiving core, who might be the biggest question mark they have, their defense wasn't bad. They were missing their 2 starting defensive linemen. That's the big issue that we have as well, when you look at it that way. But then the other part of this, the other aspect we've got to take into consideration is Baker didn't have OTAs. Baker didn't, he was basically splitting reps with Sam Darnold throughout the entire preseason. He wasn't getting the reps with the ones. So I think, as I've said from the get-go, I'm prepared to give him a few games to get his feet underneath him to see what we have. At the end of the day, if he's bad, he's bad. And I'm willing to accept that. But right now, to say that he is bad and he isn't going to be capable of being good, it's just not a fair. If you're trying to compare apples to apples, you can't do that with Sam Darnold last year. I think that's real. I'm not ready to quit on Baker yet. I'm not saying it's time to bring in Sam Darnold or PJ, but at this rate, I mean, you might have to at this, or not. You don't have to, but I don't want to bring in PJ. I'm done with that. But if Sam Darnold gets healthy and he goes 2-3 more games like this, at what point do we say, hey, the potential just isn't panning out?
Right. I think after this
is the point, is he just hasn't been good.
Yeah.
He just hasn't been good.
After this game with the Saints, that's what it's going to boil down to. He's going to be playing a good defense. If you haven't gelled after 2 weeks of being just the only guy in the quarterback room that has to be preparing, you aren't splitting reps. You've had, by this point, 3 weeks, if not more, of that just constant focus on you being the guy. If you can't put it together this week, I don't care whether you're going against good defense or not. I'm ready to put him in the.
I've been real upset with McAdoo. They have not done him any favors. They put all the pressure on Baker Mayfield. It's hey, Baker, go win. It's they forgot that you can win in different ways. And that's wild because, hey, Christian McCaffrey is this. It almost in this second game, it was hey, surprise, Christian McCaffrey's good at football.
Yeah.
That's the thing that irritates me more than anything. It took them, and they still almost abandoned it in this game.
They still don't even.
They gave him a good few runs at the very beginning of the game, but it felt like they completely removed him from the game there in the second quarter, potentially, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then the third quarter was somewhat non-existent. outside of that big 60-yard run that he had, like he was largely non-existent because the coaching staff just decided to give Baker the ball all 3 times that he threw the ball. Like when we had the 3 and outs, 9 times out of 10, it's because they didn't hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. I want to push back on the Giants being a decent team too, though, because like we can't in one hand say like the Panthers are bad because they lost to teams like Cleveland and the Giants, and the Giants are good because they beat teams like Tennessee and Carolina. Like I think the Giants being 2-0, if it's kind of like how we would feel right now if we were 2-0. It's like we're 2-0, but do we?
Yeah,
really
but you don't trust
2-0.
Well,
like,
but they're
don't really
exceeding expectations in a way. They're exceeding expectations. We're falling below expectations. But you're right; they're not a good team. I mean, they don't have a good quarterback. Their defense is injured and nicked up. But here, like they did everything they could to not win that game, right? But even if they're not a good team, we're a worse team.
Exactly. that makes us look worse.
And the Chuba Hubbard, man, is like, can they really put him back on the field? How about this?
Also,
think about this. Go ahead.
I was going to say, before we jump into that, like this is a very good point. You guys want to compare apples to apples? Let's compare apples to apples with Sam Darnold against the Giants last year and tell me who's the better fucking QB. Let's go.
Ooh, pull up his stat line.
I got stats right here.
He did get benched in that game. He got benched.
He threw for 112 yards, 64% completion, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception. 16 for 25. So almost the exact stat line without the without the touchdown.
Without a TD.
Now, however, through the first 3 games, I just looked it up. He had 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns, almost 1,000 yards, almost 70% completion rating. So through the first 3 games, he played way better than Mayfield has. But against the Giants, it was almost the same stat line.
That Giants game, you know what is
16
this game?
PBR.
This was a better performance by us against the Giants than last year's was, but it won't much better. It won't much better.
All of this tells me that the Panthers don't have a franchise quarterback. I mean, we just
you know what? I don't even care. You know, I don't even want to hear the word franchise quarterback, Cody.
I do, because if you don't have one, you don't have anything at all.
I just want a quarterback.
The reason, no, but see, this is the deal. I'm done with a quarterback. For the past 2 years in a row,
we don't have a quarterback.
No, but this is what I'm saying. All we're doing is trying to get a quarterback that's just good enough that can be elevated by a good football team. When you look at the best football teams in the NFL, they all have a stud under center. Everybody who thought Kirk Cousins was good enough, look at that dude now. That dude looks absolutely miserable. By the
I
way,
saw a guy say that Kirk Cousins was a case of blue balls.
Dude, everybody was even given the quarterback for the Raiders.
Derek Carr.
Listen, I was even one of the people that was like Derek Carr, kind of underrated. But nah, dude, turns out it's just average. If you have an average, basic-ass quarterback under center, there's the possibility that they be able to make it to the playoffs. But they're never going to win you a game in the playoffs unless you have a badass team built around them. And not only do the Panthers not have all assets of that badass team, but even if you do have those things, if you don't have a quarterback that can push you over the edge, you are never going to be a serious contender year in and year out.
I don't even care about being a serious contender. I just want to be a contender at this point.
I want it all. I'm selfish as hell.
Give me 10 games in the playoffs.
I just want one win.
No, I want it all.
I want one win at this point. What I'm saying is this is, I don't know if you remember, I'm the king. My friend Clip Rock gets mad at me every week on Pirate Radio because all I do is make 90s movie and music references. I'm stuck in the 90s. I'm a kid that my boy KG73s, who's the one that gave us the tickets to give to a super fan tonight. He's my boy from that era, and like this, we rolled together, listened to the same music and things like this. And I just remember an old Wayne's World line that I love. And his crazy ass girlfriend gives him comes up and says like, "Hey Wayne, I got you a gift. I got you a birthday gift." And they're like, "Oh God, crazy ex-girlfriend." And she hands him this gift in the donut shop. And he goes, "What is it?" She goes, "It's a gun rack." And he goes, "I don't even own a gun, let alone enough guns to necessitate an entire rack. we don't even have a quarterback, let alone a franchise quarterback. And that's just kind of what I think is like, yes, I want that. The land, it makes you, and I know I saw somebody say this on Twitter. They said this to me. They're like, I'm so tired of you guys or people just talking about Cam. I don't want Cam back right now. I didn't want him back last year. I want to remember Cam like dear to me, like my first girlfriend, you know, like not my first, but but the first one, you know what, with I want to keep him in my heart like that. And I'm telling you, is like, it makes it crazy to think of how cool it was to have Cam Newton.
Well, here's the thing. Like, I know you said it sucked. It was great for that. Like that, we had the best show of our entire podcast when we had Cam Newton resign.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You know,
it was.
We had what 800 people or 700 people watching us at one point. It was ridiculous.
The video when Cam came back got or the last time I checked, it's been a long time, over a year. Obviously, it was at 12,000 views. And that was the live stream that we did. So
yeah,
it got up there, man. But if you look at the Bills on Monday Night Football last night, it's like, oh, okay, that whole team is nasty. And we can talk about how much
Josh Allen's dialed in, bro. Josh Allen is dialed
because
in.
Because of much that Bills team reminds us of those legendary Panther teams of old. But, I mean, look, if you look at the Bills, if you look at the Chiefs, if they lose one of their main players in free agency, like the Chiefs did, by the way, they lost Tyreek Hill. You know why? And if you were, and Tyrann Mathieu. You know why? If you're a Chiefs fan, you don't care too much because you know that you have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback. And
it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling.
And that as long as we have this mindset that we just need to get a guy that can help us win. No, it's that mediocrity, basement dwelling stuff that has Panther fans thinking short term. If Matt Rhule is going to be out the door, Scott Fitterer's only mission in life needs to be to find the answer at quarterback for the Carolina Panthers and build around them from there. Because until then, we ain't going nowhere, dude.
It's just harder than you think.
Right.
You know, I know it's just harder than you think. It's like, no, think about these guys. They're 1 in 100. You know, the Patrick Mahomes, the Josh Allen, they don't just grow on trees, Cody. And I'd hate that. This is going to hurt my heart. It hurts my heart to say this. But the way Josh Allen's playing right now, he's playing better than Cam ever did.
100%.
I mean, at least the one thing I would just say is Cam had the ability to do it by himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like Cam and the Panthers took advantage of that somewhat and invested everything on the defense and things like that. It's like, I know that you guys say that Josh Allen's big and strong and can run, but he's just this guy is an elite passer right now. I mean, he's just putting the ball in windows that barely exist. You open your window for a second to let a mosquito out and he's throwing a football through it. I mean, he is, and he's got Diggs, who is fantastic. And Cam never had that, in a way. But I'm just saying this is I'm watching Josh Allen play and I'm watching the Bills play. And it reminds me a lot of the 2015 Panthers team is where everything is clicking.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is I know that you guys said this before the show started, that you would think that the Bills are even better than what the 2015 Panthers were. I think the only reason we say that is because we thought they were going to be good from the beginning. We knew they were good last year. We expected them to be good. The Panthers were kind of a surprise story they were a surprise story. So if the Panthers would have made the playoffs the year before and kind of walked into that trajectory, I think we might not say, and that's just head and shoulders above them, because everything went right for the Panthers that year. Everything. Mm-hmm. And Cam was putting up these crazy ass numbers, but Josh Allen, how about this? And Josh Allen didn't even throw the most touchdowns yesterday, I don't think.
He only played 3 quarters.
Yeah.
I know.
The dude, they pulled him out. He had 4 touchdowns by the third quarter. Dude was ridiculous.
I love how now the only thing that we can do is compare people to Cam and say, oh, well, Cam couldn't do that. Like, at the end of the day, like, this conversation is going to be colored by the fact that, yes, if you look at all the facts, Josh Allen is a better passer, and that is undeniable. It is also undeniable that they have put a night and day offense around Josh Allen. And what the franchise is supposed to do is exactly what the Buffalo Bills are doing. Now, hold on, CK. I'm not trying to say that Cam would necessarily be able to make every throw that Josh Allen's making. But after seeing what he did in 2015, man, if we had gotten him a Stephon Diggs, if we had gotten him some other legitimate weapons while he had the opportunity to do so, that time that we're talking about for the Panthers could have lasted a lot longer.
Right.
And the only point that I'm making is it just only goes to show us how much the Panthers don't have a game changer at that position.
But to defend Tony, he never said that Cam couldn't play at the same level. He said right now Josh Allen is playing better than Cam Newton ever did. He didn't say that Cam, if he had the same weapons, that he couldn't play at the same level.
Yeah.
He's just saying
I think they would be in the same conversation.
But facts. Yeah.
No, I think they'd be in the same conversation. I'm just saying right now what I saw from Josh Allen in these first 2 weeks and how he ended the season last year, trading blows with Patrick Mahomes. He's special at this point.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know. And I'm like, I said this last year is I need to see more from Josh Allen to like really buy into it. But like through 2 weeks into this season, I think I saw more. So they're on fire. All I know when they panned to that crowd yesterday and they were just blocking, like recovering fumbles and then throwing darts down and scoring touchdowns.
Crazy.
I was misery drinking, watching Monday Night Football, and I said, man, I know that feeling. I was at a game where it felt like that. The the 2015 NFC Championship, that game, everything went right. Man, it's like the best sports environment I've ever been in. It was so much fun. Seems like so long ago. In fact, it's starting to become so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing is that you keep going, oh, man, it wasn't that long ago. It's starting to get there. So one of the other things as we go on, let's just kind of finalize some things about this game. One of the things that has continued, look, the Panthers got Christian McCaffrey more involved. He had a big rush, 6.8 yards per carry, he crested 100 yards rushing. So he was a prize pick winner for a lot of people. But then you look over here in the passing game. We already talked about Baker Mayfield's struggles is that, Robbie Anderson with that 3.3 catches, man, blew it, right? I think he dropped one, Baker missed him on a couple, like nothing went right in the passing game.
He fumbled.
Yeah. But there's two things I want to talk about this is, he did fumble. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to fight too much. Sometimes like it's okay to be the crazy fighter if you're like Bo Jackson. But you're Robbie Anderson. You skinny right. And slim, man. When you get wrapped up by three dudes, just go down. Just go down and keep the football. But a big conversation has been two things. Is DJ Moore, you remember that people saying the underrated receiver. DJ Moore's not been getting a lot of attention since Baker Mayfield's been in town. And to be honest, that's not surprising because it didn't seem like they had the greatest connection in preseason or via – maybe we didn't see it a lot in preseason, but even in training camp. And then I want to talk a little bit about what we can do to kind of fix this. Cody, Shi Smith. Man, tough game for Shi. That's just that. That's it.
Yeah.
Tough game for Shi. Just
no doubt.
Game. And it's okay to have a bad, it's like that's what I just, but the Panthers, they kept putting him out there. He's hurt. Andre Roberts is like what do we think about this receiving core? How does Carolina get into it? And I want to go to a clip where after, if you could actually, can we go ahead and pull up the clip? It is labeled as Higgins and opportunities. It's the third clip that I put in the private chat. what this is the Panthers were asked about, like, hey, and I think Joe Person asked the question is, what about Higgins, who showed some promise in the preseason, has a connection with Baker Mayfield from Cleveland? Why isn't this dude even getting involved in the game, particularly when Shi Smith is struggling?
Where did you send it to me?
It's in the private chat of StreamYard at the top. Yeah, the top. The three, did they come through?
I don't see it.
Yeah.
No, so if you send it before you guys get in, here it is. I'll resend it. I sent it before anybody was even in the chat, so I wonder if they don't show up because no one was there. I sent them earlier today. Anyway, this is Matt Rhule being asked about what is Higgins? Rashad Higgins? That's his name?
Rashard
Higgins. So what do you guys think about the mixture right now? Is that, look, Terrace Marshall Jr., some different things. Here we go. Here's Matt Rhule.
There's something, though, that he still needs to develop to kind of get a little bit more.
No, I just think Rashard needs opportunities. I think he can practice well and improve his game. He can be open. I think we kind of went with those three guys, and we're going to be in some no huddle and play those guys. But there's opportunities to rotate a little bit more. So that to me is one of the things. It's early in the week, but I just feel like there's players that can help.
Incredible answer here is Rashard Higgins just needs opportunities, but you haven't given him any opportunities.
Yeah, does he realize
what does that even mean?
To give him the fun, it's like this dude doesn't know that he's the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. Hey, asshole, that's on you. Okay, if we're having red zone problems, then maybe you should rotate them in. And the fact that every single press conference he does this double down shit. Oh, we're so close. We're so close. We just got to fight a little bit harder. Yeah, no shit, you're close. The reason why you're not over the edge is because the coaching is terrible. You are the problem with this football team, Matt Rhule. And if that is such an issue that Panther reporters are bringing it up to you in the press conference, then it's like, dude, what are we doing here? Why does someone need to say that to you in a press conference before it dawns on you? Even the week before, why does a reporter need to say, hey, you didn't run with Christian McCaffrey that much. You think maybe you should have ran it more? And then it goes, yeah, in hindsight, maybe we probably should have gave Christian some more touches. Yeah, well, hindsight is 20/20, asshole. It's like, this is not working. Everything he sounds is so dumb. And it's all just platitudes. It's all just coach speak. There is no method to the madness. They're making shit up as they go. And I'm telling you, a lot of it comes from Phil Snow. And Phil Snow also doesn't know shit about what he's talking about.
You know, it's Rhule starting to look tired and defeated. You know, I mean, you can just see I thought that he looked good. I thought that him losing weight in the offseason, he looked comfortable and confident in the press conferences throughout the preseason and training camp. I thought he was hitting a point where he wasn't, but the noise is happening. You know what I'm saying? The stress, he's starting to look like a president in their third year. That's exactly what it is. It's like, you know, you see the pictures of Barack Obama. He came in and looked like a young man, and then he walks out of the office 8 years later. It looked like he aged 100 years. Every president goes through that. So Matt Rhule looks tired. You know, he looks like he doesn't know. Like Donald Rumsfeld said, you can't know what you don't know. And Matt Rhule doesn't know that. Like, hey, you can Rashard. He just needs opportunities. Well, give them to him.
Yeah. Who's in charge of giving him the opportunities? You're the head coach. It's infuriating, man. It really is infuriating. And by the way, it also lends more credence to why he wanted to go and get a bunch of NFL coaches to hire this offseason. He wanted to be able to delegate everything to everyone else.
Well, that's good, though. That's what good leadership does. It just turns out McAdoo's been a bum.
But you're looking at a man who is in control of nothing at all. I believe that he listens to other people when it comes time to determine position battles and what players should play where. He lets everybody else make the decision, and then he signs off on it. This man has no control over anything in the organization. And then I want to make one more final point on my rant here. I was listening. The Panthers put out like a montage of reporters in the locker room talking to their players. And I forget who the fire was. It might have been Xavier Woods. They spoke to Dante Jackson, and then they spoke to Xavier Woods. And the whole time in the background, you hear the ping pong table going in the background. And, dude, let me tell you what, man. You might call me a hard ass. If I'm the coach of this fucking football team, I take that ping pong table out in front of Bank of America Stadium, light that motherfucker on fire, and tell them this is a representation of the Panthers organization. It's on fire. You do not get paid to play ping pong. You're here to play football, and right now the Carolina Panthers the fucking game in 9 games. What in the fuck are we doing, dude? It's fucking infuriating.
I'm cutting that clip. That's a good one. You better write that one down. You know what? I think it's shameful. I think it is absolutely shameful. And you know who needs to hear that, Cody? Freaks. Introduce our boy with the pipes.
Yeah, look. I'm a freak. You're a freak. We're all a bunch of fucking freaks, dude. We're going to be freaky together. We're going to let this man with the sexy-ass vocal cords shame us like we all want to have happen. Big Papa, please, for everything I love, give it to me.
I'll write that down,
hello.
too.
You have come here to have a conversation about the Carolina Panthers. We're all fired up because we are extremely disappointed with where our Panthers at, where the organization is at. You've come here to talk about it, to rant about it, to maybe curse in the chat room, to maybe yell at us for having the wrong opinion or a differing opinion from you. You've come in here, you've said, I enjoy the content you guys put out, but you know what? I haven't hit that like button yet. Well, I have one thing to say to all you absolute freaks. Subscriber shame, mother.
263 badass Panther fans watching the C3 Panthers podcast. 130 thumbs up. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Hit that notification bell to help us whoop up on the YouTube algorithm. And that way we can actually win, unlike the Carolina Panthers. You can be a part of a winning culture by hitting that like and subscribe and getting this podcast in front of as many eyes as possible. Tony Dunn, what else do I have to be angry about?
Probably our performance on Prize Picks. Guys, it is a fun way. Man, I tell you, it's fun. It's fun. But this whole Baker Mayfield has been ruining my Prize Picks. The Panthers have been ruining my Prize Picks. Good Lord. But look, Prize Picks is a great way to play daily fantasy football sports. What you do is you go in there and you go to Prize Pick, you download the app, you go to prizepicks.com, and you use the promo code C3. They're going to give you, on your first time deposit, a 100% match up to $100. You put in $100, they give you $100. Now, I thought, man, I won my first Prize Pick and tripled my money. And they pay out. This is real money. Daily fantasy sports is legal in North Carolina and South Carolina. And there's over 30, I think there's 30 states throughout the country that this is legal in. So you go in there and you have to make at least 2 picks, and the players have to be at least on 2 different teams. And you make these entries, and you pick, they give you some sort of fantasy stat that they see as potentially that this player is going to get more or less yards, catches, more or less You put two picks, you get both 2 picks, you triple your money. You get 4 picks, you quadruple your money. You get 5 picks, you have 5 times your money. You get this, you get you just go up and up. And what we're going to do, so Prize Picks is a supporter of our show, and we are a supporter of Prize Picks. It's been fun. That's the thing. But It turns out that being fun and making money sometimes
don't go hand in hand.
Yeah. But we need that. We're going to get some help today. I want everybody. And maybe the problem is this is how bad. Part of this is that the Panthers have stunk. Like if we would be doing Prize Picks and this podcast was for Buffalo, we'd be making all types of money.
Oh, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's really at the end of the day, it's like the picks that we've made have not been irresponsible picks. The Panthers have performed irresponsibly on the football field to where the idea is this. And man, I tell you, I just want to show you. Let's go over last week's real quick. All right. Just to show you what we did last week.
Oh God.
And I'm telling you, this is, and I got my account. So we're going to make a run this week. This one right here drove me nutso. Christian McCaffrey doesn't get in the end zone. That one felt like that's like just bull crap in that game. And again, comes back to the Panthers not using him enough and effectively enough. I was rooting for him to break away on that chance. This though, Geno Smith, he got 30 pass attempts, bro. 30. This dude had, Greg, pull up Geno's stats for me. Look up Geno's stats. And I tell you, wait until you see the game that this guy had. He had a game that was almost as bad as Baker Mayfield's. And he still somehow had 30 pass attempts. I guess they were when you're behind, right? And they fell behind. Maybe the Jimmy G coming in actually hurt me on that one. And then Kyler Murray, though, the one that I get right here, he did throw an interception. Wow, he was sensational in that game. Will the Panthers get an interception this week? I think that's what we're going to have to look at. Go ahead, Greg. What were the stats?
I'll say just this season, he threw 30. This last week, and the first week he threw 28.
28.
So, I mean, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Right
here we go again. Look, this was my second one. I thought this is the one. This is the one I should have nailed.
Yeah.
Right? It's like Baker having like a quarterback having under 215 yards passing is terrible. Like, I mean, it's non-existent. So Baker, look, Amon-Ra St. Brown had his 6 catches in the first half. Boom, checked it off.
Hey, I took more on Baker Mayfield passing yards, and it went against my gut instinct. It really did, but I did it, man. I did it. People on the free-for-all thought that was a good pick.
Yeah, I mean, it should have been.
You know what I think the problem is here? I always look for picks that I'm going to pick over. I'm like, oh, he'll get over that. Yeah. He'll get over that. But you can always pick the under. Like, we need to start looking for stuff that you can pick the under.
Less is scary. Yes. Less is scary. But here, again, Patrick Mahomes, this one was a big screw job, CK. Tell him what happened in that one.
Bro, oh, man. So this
I didn't even see it. You messaged me, and I was like, oh, dude, I was at somewhere, and I was...
So this one, I don't think I recall this one. The Justin
Remember
Herbert.
They overturned it?
They overturned 2 of his interceptions.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Patrick Mahomes had a pick.
That was a clear pick. And that was, I think, call me crazy, but I sent this message to Greg and I said, let's talk about that conversation about narratives that they're trying to create, making this a much better game. Because Patrick Mahomes threw an interception that was a pretty clear interception to me, which would have let us hit that one right there. And unfortunately, it's a loss. I had the 3 for mine on my own personal one. I had Patrick Mahomes under 300 yards, which he didn't get. I had Daniel Jones under 240 yards, which he didn't get. And then I had Baker over 215 yards passing, which he didn't get. So, like, I hit 2 of them and then missed on the Baker one. So, Baker screwed me out of some money, too. So,
Look at this is going back here. And this one, again, like I actually thought, for the whole game, it really felt like the scariest one here was Saquon under. I had him more than 70.5, and the Panthers were doing good to bottle him up. But at the end of that fourth quarter, he got yards. Disappointing again, comes back too much residing on Baker. And look, Robbie, if he doesn't fumble that ball, right? Does he?
He probably gets.
He gets more.
How short was he?
So, 4.5 yards.
Yeah, he would have definitely gotten it. Yeah.
All right, so let's go to the board. Today was Taco Tuesday for Prize Picks, so they had a bonus if they had certain plays. I think I saw Chubb was one. Let's see if he's still. It must have only been for a limited time.
1.5 receptions. Chubb. That's a pretty good one.
I like that 0.5. All right, let's go to the Panthers. We're using this as the Panthers.
Yeah. Oh, now you only have 4.
Do we have to do Panthers, or can we do Panthers in New Orleans because it's the Panthers New Orleans game?
Yeah, we're gonna we'll do one. Okay. I'm taking the Jameis Winston interception. Dude, I think I gotta take that.
I don't know how you can feel confident about any one of these. It's like you were saying, if it were the Bills, then it's like, yeah, you trust your team to be able to do this. But dude, we're so bipolar. Like, I thought Robbie Anderson would be a lock to get over 3 receptions. He just made 3 and didn't get any more. Dude, how about this? We haven't even talked about this enough. DJ Moore is absent in this offense.
Yeah, I mean, I would say
one wide receiver that we have been hoping that we could finally get him a quarterback that can consistently get him the ball, and he's still not getting the ball. Dude, if I was DJ Moore, I would not have resigned to a team with a quarterback position like ours, man. I really feel bad for the dude. I really just don't know what to think about any of these stats. Like, who's to say what kind of offense we're going to run? Because Ben McAdoo wants to throw the football. But if you look at last week, it's obvious to everyone that we're a better team when we're running with Christian McCaffrey. So what do the Panthers do? There's literally like no way to know. It's so tough to bet on this team.
See, the thing is when we're making them, there'll be more entries available as you get later in the week, right? So they'll add more as they continue to evaluate the numbers and see some things. So we'll see, like right now, the interceptions for Winston and Mayfield are not there. But generally for the first 2 weeks, if you get on there on like say Thursday or Friday, every quarterback in the league has a 0.5 interception. Now that might be changing for some of these guys. We're throwing, I wonder if Burrow is going to be at 1.51 or something. Yeah. But look, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. I feel good about Christian McCaffrey, 55 rushing yards over. I mean, more than 55. I think he can get 56. He got 102 last week. And at the end of the day, the Panthers are going to need to just win, right? They need to just win, and they can't. If they haven't learned their lesson at all, that Christian McCaffrey is part of that formula to get closer to winning, then they're just bums, right? So you see what else?
So I would also say I'd probably pick Baker Mayfield and go less than 200 passing yards because one of the strengths of the Saints team is their defensive backfield. I could easily see them choosing to not throw the ball back.
I hate taking a less.
Yeah.
But I do. Well, okay, but Tony, we have to adjust because I feel like every time we go more, we get burned.
It's 200
every time we've lost.
It's gone down, though. But it's gone down.
I would still take it.
He's still got less than that. That's
look, there's only been one performance where he's even gone above
But there's only been 2 performances. I don't know if I love that one. I don't know if I love that.
Look at the Michael Thomas and 59.5 receiving yards. He's hit that in basically every game in the last 5 games, and he's averaging 72.2 yards. And I think Michael Thomas can be one of the best receivers in the league when he's healthy. I think it's a pretty safe over bet or more. Yeah. I mean, even the 2 he missed it in, he barely missed it,
All right. So the Greg wants the Michael Thomas more. What about this Jameis Winston hurt?
Apparently, he has injuries to his spine.
Yeah, 4 fractures. I think
I
he's
thought
got
they
like
said-
those cam fractures.
Has a
Remember how he has
broken
those?
back.
But he's just, it's like, you know, those little knobs you got, like the little, like when you're eating
Well,
like a turkey, like
What's
the
Kamara's
knuckles.
situation?
He's not even listed, is he?
He was out last week.
Who?
Kamara.
Was he?
Oh, Kamara. Yeah, he was out last week.
Oh, so that helps both of these, right? You think the Panthers can hold Jameis Winston to under 215 passing?
They didn't hold Daniel Jones to under 215 passing.
Like that.
I don't know.
What did you do last week? What did you do last week against the Bucks? Because if he was over 215 last week, then I'm going the over or going more.
You can look at it with
He had 236 against
a
the Bucks.
much better defense, by the way.
Yeah.
But that was also a close game to the end.
Yeah, but you got to remember too. You can also rack up 350 yards and lose the game.
You actually, if the Panthers are winning, that helps that.
Yeah.
See, it sucks that they don't give you all the stats, or that they don't give you more stats now. Like right now, I would take the Jameis interception, and I would take more. Like,
yeah, I would definitely
give it.
Well, we can wait till as we get again. They're trying to push your stuff till Thursday night. I think is what they're trying to do. Is like, let's see if we find any. How about that?
What is So
Chubb to score a touchdown.
To score a touchdown. Who are they playing? Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Thursday.
No, it's a rushing touchdown.
Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat.
I would do it if it would.
They're playing the Steelers, and TJ Watt's not even playing.
Oh, okay.
And they have Mitch Trubisky that they're going against. The Steelers have not been a high-powered offense, which means that they're probably going to be playing from behind, which means the Browns are probably going to try to take control over this through the rushing game.
All right, I think this is what we should do.
That was mine. That was mine.
What are you putting on?
I didn't know if we could go with a
Hit
different
the flex.
team. But
you don't feel. What do you feel? I would.
this is going to be the one time we hit all of them, and we're going to be like, "Are you kidding me?"
I
want it.
Dude,
I want it. Need
that,
him. I am.
So what? Okay, Christian McCaffrey more than. Okay, I like that. Michael Thomas more.
Which is the scariest? To me, that's the scariest one right there. But if I think Jameis is going to go over 215, he is a completion hog. You know what I'm saying? Like he could get 60 yards, just put like 10 catches.
Right.
Jameis is the one that gives me pause.
You can get 60 yards in one catch.
Jameis is a wild card in this.
Because also, man, this dude will throw some interceptions. And
That's
I don't
fine.
know if y'all look.
You know what? The good news.
I don't know if y'all
he
looked at
throws-
any of the highlights that he was. Even last week, he was throwing some interceptions, man. So
I love
that didn't go
Jameis
against
Winston.
your passing yards, does it? I mean, like
No,
if there's
it
interceptions,
doesn't.
that's going to actually help him because he's going to have to throw more to come back.
Yeah. Like the worst thing would happen is that they get out there and rush the ball on us and get ahead.
Beat the shit.
And you could really see this as a game that Carolina's trying to slow down and get Christian McCaffrey involved. And the Saints, if somebody look up Alvin Kamara's status, what's he listed as? I think this is. I do feel. I feel. How about this? I feel better about Jameis throwing 215 than I do about Baker going more than 200 at this point. And that's crazy. 200 yards for a quarterback should be easy to get. That's a bad day, in my opinion. Like, I almost want to just add, like, how could it have been that bad last week? But you're worried about how was the Saints chat? Tell us, how was the Saints defense? They look good against Tom Brady, right? They were shutting him out for the first half.
Well, Tom Brady also didn't have Chris Godwin or Julio Jones.
Yeah, but that's
what's his name for half.
Tom Brady never had those guys when he was in New England either.
Right, but what I'm saying is, yes, they were able to shut him down, but like when you look at what Tom Brady has had since he's been in Tampa Bay, they have been a high-powered offense. Like it hasn't been like in New England, it's not really been that way outside of the 1 year with Randy Moss. But in Tampa Bay, it has been high-powered. They have a lot of weapons. They didn't have that last week against the Saints. And Mike Evans was out for half the week, half the game as well, like Greg was alluding to. So I don't know that we can use that as a measuring stick, but the fact that he got over 215 yards against the Tampa Bay defense is definitely interesting to me.
Yeah, I like these. Man, maybe I'm a little worried about Nick Chubb. Does he have an off night Thursday? He's been killing it. He's trying to get a contract.
He's trying to win MVP.
I'm going for it. All right. Prize picks. Look, I mean, I'm telling you, you can do it, folks. You can do it. I've done it before right here. I'm still we're not washed out yet. We're not washed out yet.
We may not have been winning much money, but I have gotten many messages from many of C3 viewers who have been winning some cash, and they do like prize picks. So, hey, man.
It's fun. It's so fun. That's my problem is I'll get on Thursday and I'll do one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Just because I want to.
Lose what you put into. It's fun.
Yeah. So this is use the promo code C3. Go to Prize Picks. Use the promo code C3. Get 100% deposit bonus on your first deposit. Go make some coin. Right now, we got to have some reasons to watch other than just the Carolina Panthers. Right. And on top of that, what I want you guys to do is to think about this is a way to support the show. This Prize Pick has signed up as a sponsor for us for the entire season. We're going to do Prize Pick segments on both Tuesday and Friday for all season long. But the more traction we get, the more fan involvement, the more fun we have doing it, means next year Prize Picks comes back. And these are all ways to grow the podcast indirectly and to benefit directly yourself. Cody Lashney, how about this is I feel like we should go to the cat calls now. Let's go to the calls. The number's 252-228-5098.
I do want to bring up a certain topic at a certain point. Because it's been driving me crazy, but yeah, we'll play some.
I think maybe there'll be a call about it. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if we can weave that topic. We'll definitely get to it though.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's go.
So, what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So, how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
What's up, guys? This is Chase from Anderson, South Carolina.
Okay.
My bright side thinking for this team is, at least within this first two games, they're within a field goal of winning. I guess that's a positive look at. They do got pieces to put in place. Just the ones putting the puzzle together are fucking retarded. My ice up is to my Gamecocks. Shane Beamer's got this team soft. SAWFT. Soggy ass waffle fries. I swear they got Shane Beamer off the short bus. He might even fell off the fucking short bus. Come on, man. Nut up and toughen up.
Oh man. Shout out. Great call.
Tough.
I'm
Let's
a Clemson fan, so sorry, buddy. I'm smiling.
Next call.
Hey guys, this is Chad in Charleston again.
What's up, Chad?
Last week. Recommending we blow it up, start looking at trading some assets, get draft picks, and try to start over. Now we're 0-2 with a loss to the Giants with Daniel Jones at quarterback and the Browns with Cody at quarterback. We got the Saints coming up. It's going to be 0-3. They're not going to lose after coming off a loss to the Bucs. Cardinals, who just won in pretty miraculous fashion against the Raiders. Then you got the Niners, Rams, Bucs. 06, 0-7 coming up, guys, I think, before we get to the Falcons. If we get to the point, a couple questions. At what point do you let go of Matt Rhule? 0-3, 0-4. It's got to be soon. At that point, you start thinking about trading assets. Do not think we're going to win many games this year. And I think the goal should be at this point to kind of just start over, go through the draft, get your franchise quarterback, and build up from there. Obviously, I wouldn't trade Kwanu or Horn yet. Pretty much anyone else I'd look at trading. Curious on your thoughts. I think we're headed to a pretty terrible season, so I'll keep calling back.
Man, it's scary. It's scary that it's week 2 when we're having that conversation of blowing it up. But, to be honest, we knew that conversation would exist until the Panthers started to pull some wins in when it comes to Matt Rhule, right? Is the fire Matt Rhule. That cheer and that chant is going to exist until it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And is that there's no reason. Look, at this point, it's continued to just be this, is that, yes, each offseason we gain optimism. We try to find the silver lining. We try to do those things. But right now, as you're continuing to piss on my leg and tell me it's raining, and until you stop peeing on my leg, man, we're going to be upset. And that it's going to start with one win. But now it's going to take more than one win. And I think really the question that we're going to be honestly having is how many wins by week 6 is it going to take to save Matt Rhule's job? That's the real question now, is not just what is it going to be to save his job for the season? Going last year, that's what we were talking about, is how many wins does he need to get to be the coach next year? Right now, I want to know how many wins he's got to have by week 6 to be the coach in week 7. And I think it's got to be more than 2. I mean, I think we're 2-4. That's tough. I mean, I just don't know. Maybe 2-4 is the number. If we're 1-5 in week 6, I don't know how he survives that. I mean, it's just at what point do we just say it's a failed experiment? The number's 252-228-5098. Let's keep going.
Hey, guys. This is Jedi Jor.
Jedi.
It's been a rough couple of weeks, but I thought I'd, look to the future and see what hope we can have. I listened to a podcast the other day, they were saying how, after so long, something has to give, and you're not going to give up all 52 guys on the roster. So, the coach is going to have to go eventually. So, watching what Buffalo did last night, I feel like that's where all of us want to be. It's unfortunate that we lost Brandon Dean and Sean McDermott, but, nothing but good vibes for those guys. My thought process has always been, get a defensive head coach because, defensive coordinators seem to have a more extensive grasp on how the game.
This guy's been
flow
turning
and,
forever.
How everything should go. So I'm going to be looking at, what teams have the best defenses in the league. Hopefully we can get somebody who, who can bring the best out of this roster. Maybe even a Brian Flores, you see what Miami's been able to do. And I think that's a lot of leftover from what Brian Flores brought there last year and the year before. But, who knows? All right, guys. You guys have a good one.
I wonder if he ever turned.
I know.
So I will say, how a few years ago, an offensive-minded head coach was all the rage. You wanted an offensive wonderkind, like a Sean McVay, a Kyle Shanahan. And the idea is that if you had a really good offensive coordinator, that you would have a guy that would be orchestrating your offense for the foreseeable future, and you wouldn't risk your offensive coordinator every time the team had a good season and then somebody else came and poached them. So I like the idea of a head coach that actually has the capability to call plays, which Matt Rhule decidedly does not. And yeah, I mean, I think it all just depends on the coach. I'm at the point now, I don't care if it's an offensive head coach. I don't care if it's a defensive head coach. So, for example, I love the head coach of the Chargers. I think that guy is awesome, and he's a defensive head coach, but he also vibes really well with the offense. And he was a large part in changing that offense for the Chargers around a little bit. So offensive, defensive doesn't really matter too much to me. How about this? Just as long as it isn't Sean fucking Payton. How about that?
Oh, why? Why?
Okay, because let's jump into this. Why would the Panthers want to give up 3 first-round picks to go get Sean Payton, or 2, or however many it would cost? Sean Payton still has a contract with the New Orleans Saints. You're going to tell me that our team that's already in the doldrums at the bottom of the barrel, that we should give up even more draft capital, not to fix the team, but to go get old duck lips? Come on, dude. Look, I think Sean Payton is a really good head coach. I think that he's really good at what he does. But this Panthers team is not a Sean Payton away from being a legitimate contender. And more importantly, I don't want to give all those assets to our division rival that's our ass for the past few years. I don't want no part of it, man.
Does this contract expire at any point? Like where he's just said, you know what, like he doesn't fulfill. Like I wonder, like because a lot of people are talking about him being the coach of Dallas,
right?
And I didn't realize that they would have to give up so much to get him.
That's what I was going to ask: is where did you get the 3 first-round picks thing? Or was that just being hyperbolic? Like, because that's insane.
Well, but okay, so considering that you would have to trade for him, he is a Super Bowl winning head coach. Maybe 3 was a little too much, but you are going to give up at least 1.
It's kind of like what John
pick.
Gruden did when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traded for John Gruden in 2000 or whatever. You know, they gave up a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't realize. I didn't realize that Sean Payton's contract was going to be such a until Panther Pickle told us that like a barrier. And I didn't just mean for us. I mean, for any team. You know, I thought that he had retired, but he could come back. But if he has years on his contract that reactivate, then that could be problematic. And the question is how many and how much, and is there a way to buy him out? Mm-hmm. But it would be a lot harder to buy him out if you're in the NFC South. You know, I mean, like the Saints are going to be less interested in making a deal than if it was like for the Titans or something.
And people were talking about this because there was prior reports that the Panthers were interested in Sean Payton, which again, already have a coach, but you were already hearing that we were interested in Sean Payton. Crazy.
Yeah, he's already head coach in Nebraska. Hey, just out of curiosity, how come whenever a player sits out of his contract, we like chastise him for it, but this coach can do it and nobody seems to give a shit?
Well, I think he just retired.
Yeah, but you still have time in your contract. Like,
but you don't get paid, though.
You retired.
He's not going to get paid.
Okay,
except for the guaranteed money, you do get paid even if you retire, I think. Like the guaranteed money, they have to give.
Doesn't Matt Rhule have guaranteed
You're
money?
right. That's a good point.
Oh, Matt Rule's. Yeah, I mean, like, but see, the thing, it doesn't matter. The reason we get mad about
so embarrassing.
We get mad at players because they count towards the salary cap. Coaches don't. That just comes out of the owner's pocket. You know, so like that's why you can actually. That's why I don't buy he cost $62 million, so we're going to stick with him. Is at the end of the day, is that like Tepper's losing more money by us being irrelevant than it would cost him to jettison him just pay Matt Rhule to leave.
Yeah.
You know, so all right, let's go to the next.
Hey, hold on, time out. I know we got a lot. Time out. I know we got a lot. Before we do the business, CK, we have another fan who would like to count themselves as super.
Well, I would like to be one of the first to welcome you into the C3 Super Fan Club. Shane Reed, welcome. Thank you for your support. And sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. And enjoy those emojis. Welcome to the club.
Appreciate
Shane. As a C3 super fan, you get to show your support and your, being part of the community. It's just a nice way. It's just a way to support the show is one thing that you get for it. But we try to reward people for it. Tonight we gave a super fan, we gifted, and it wasn't we gifted. First of all, another super fan gifted these tickets for us to gift, right? But we've given away hats, we've given away stuff, And so we just want to show our appreciation to you guys as C3 super fans. It's a small. I kind of like this. I love Roosevelt Mungo and people who are so generous and give us big donations and things. That's awesome because look, we bought a bunch of equipment for Cody this week. I just bought a soundboard for us that we're going to be going forward, continuing to upgrade this podcast. But in another way, is I understand how difficult it is for people to financially commit resources to anything, and so this is kind of like we can kill it by if everybody gives $2. If a lot of people give $2, that is just as cool as one person giving $200. So look, you just consider it if you want to be a part of the C3 Super Fan Club. It's really neat. I've been so happy with the response. I think that makes us at 70 or 71, maybe 72. I'd love to see that. I love like when I check the YouTube stats and they go, hey, congratulations, you hit 50 members. I'd love to see that 100 member mark. And I know we're going to get to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube in no time. And it's because you guys are fantastic donating your time. That's what it is you know what the most is credible that you guys hang out with us on Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, Wednesdays, and just give us your time and your insight. I promise you, I learn more about football from you guys than you learn about football from me. Let's go to the next goal.
My name's Charlie. I'm the one that called it and said we played like a high school team. And it's true. I mean, you look at the way our defense is set up, we ain't stopping shit. We ain't going to stop shit. The way we keep playing. Like I said, I watched that 2A high school football game. We lined up the same bullshit they was playing, and they got blown out 64-6. So, I mean, what more can you say? We're going to play like a 2A high school football team. We're going to get our shit rocked.
You know what's crazy is that the Panthers may not be the best football team in North Carolina. Like, I wonder if like App State could come in and App State with that. Did you see that crazy ass Hail Mary they threw?
Dude, App State is the shit. Like, how are you not pulling for App State? Like, they're awesome, man.
Beating ass right now too, but obviously it's a completely
North Carolina has 4 colleges that are undefeated right now.
We should be, to be honest, we should have been a defeat for NC State. Was right there, missed the game-winning kick, man, and it wasn't that far, just blew it, but coulda, shoulda, woulda. Next call.
Hey, C3, this is Fitness for Life here, and Giants fan. I just, I called him last week and just wanted to talk about a few things about the game and just some takeaways for both your guys' team and mine. I got to say, after that game, Giants offense has got to be one of the worst in the league. I think that with our new coach, and just new scheme, it's going to take a while for us to get things rolling. But absolutely, Daniel Jones is not the future. He just does not have what it takes to be elite, So I think that was one of the biggest takeaways for us with the game. And, yeah, I think going forward, unless things get, they gel together as an offense, it's going to be a long road ahead for us, and that's definitely safe to say. For you guys, though, oh, my gosh. Frankie Louvu, he's a dog, straight dog. Like, Frankie Louvu, you guys have, just insane watching him play. So I think you guys can definitely get excited about that. But, yeah, that is definitely safe to say. And CMC, Chris McCaffrey, he's got to continue to be the focal part of your guys' offense, because once you guys really establish him as the main threat, opposing teams are going to have to sell for the run, which then opens up plays in the play action and then elsewhere. So I think that I think that could definitely be a good take. And yeah, I think that the Giants are definitely catching lightning in a bottle. We're one of 6 teams left in the NFL that are, undefeated, but I'm not getting overzealous about this by any means. Definitely look at the last 6 years. This is just something different, but nevertheless. And listen, I know what it's like to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, just when it comes to records when it starts. And we still arguably are and have been the worst in the last 6 years as far as records go. We're tied with the Jets going into this season. And just speaking from seeing results this year, you guys just need to blow it up once the year is over. find a new GM and let him hire his head coach of choice. That's what the Giants did with Joe Shane from Buffalo, and he decided to bring in the OC from Buffalo, and Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator. So I think that if you guys take that approach, and then your your front office is in lockstep, and you're making decisions that are on the same page, and there's not conflicting views, that's really how you guys can find some success. And you know what? At the end of the day, I really still look forward to continuing to watch the content you guys put out. Like, it's really impressive how dedicated you guys are, and it's very inspiring, actually. So keep doing what you guys are doing, and I look forward to it. So yeah, catch you guys later. Fitness for Life.
Chad, awesome call, man. I've said it before. I love when we get callers from other teams that like our content so much that they stick around even when we're not playing them. Dude, that was awesome. Shout out to you, Chad. Look, your team is catching lightning in a bottle. You know, whether they're overrated or underrated, dude, trust me, from a fan that hasn't had a win in a very long time, just enjoy them, brother, because right now your team is 2-0. And yeah, Greg, I'll let you go on this. It's funny how even fans of other teams can see the most obvious things with the Carolina Panthers, huh?
Yeah, it is. I mean, he brought up that point right there that we need to build the offense around CMC and have him in the game more. And this is from watching us play one game against him with CMC, because last year we didn't have CMC. And I don't know how much he watches Carolina games, but just from one game, he was like, yeah, your offense should be centered around him. And he is a fan of another team and knows this, and our coaches don't. It's sad.
Hey, I have a question. That brings up the next question that I have. And I don't know why this spawned, but what is the next Commanders game for the Panthers? And what I mean by that is it took a loss to the Washington Commanders for us to fire Matt Rhule, or for us to fire Ron Rivera. What is that game this year that is going to be like the game that's like, all right, we're over the hump? There's not much more we can do.
It could be the Saints, dude.
I'm not even saying this for hot takes. I genuinely believe if we have a bad performance this Sunday against New Orleans, I really do think that could be it. I really.
How about this? What's the argument for not doing it for it being a different game? You know,
you already said. If we're gonna
just crash into the rocks.
Yeah, like if Matt Rhule is gonna crash the Titanic headlong into the iceberg, at least we got the number 1 pick.
Yeah,
I mean, you know.
I think that if they do it, it's going to be if we get if he makes it this far, if we get completely embarrassed by the Falcons in prime time, I think that may be it. If
that's all, that's like all the way in November.
Yeah, it's like week 11. But I mean, by that time, we'll be in or out by that point. Right now. By that time, the season's wrapped.
I think if we start 1-5, it's over. I mean, I feel like I'm with Cody. Is that the noise is so loud right now? It's hard. Like, it would not have. I don't think it would have been right to the best thing for us to do to fire Matt Rhule after Sunday, this past Sunday. Like, I just don't think. Like, I understand people want that, and on Sunday, like, we're all calling for his head again. I don't think that the coaches have been entirely the biggest problem at this point either. There's been a lot is on the player performance as well. Well, I mean, I want to go back and but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, heavy is the head that wears the crown, and they are the ones that are ultimately responsible for putting a team together that plays better,
right?
Regardless of player, you know what I mean? Like, so I wouldn't have been surprised if this morning they came out and said, you know what, we've just decided this isn't going to work. I wouldn't have been floored. I didn't think they were going to do that. But it's really hard to see, like, how he would make it through next week if they did get, like, beat by anything other than the way we lost to the Browns, you know, where you could just blame it on the officials or something. You'd be like, man, that's bullshit. Like, I mean, any other loss, even if it's like more than 3 points, I feel like. I mean, I think this is a must-win game. I thought the Giants game was a must-win game for the season. Like, it's really hard for me to see a pathway to anything this season that's going to be happy. Like at this point, it's like unless we're going to be able to win over 7 games, I don't think we should even want to win 3 games.
So, Tony, next call, I have a question that I want to ask everyone.
Are we answer it before or after the call?
Well, I mean, either or. We can do it now. We can do it after our call.
All right, go ahead and ask the call. Ask the question, then we'll listen to the call and think about it.
Okay. So, knowing what we have on the line and knowing how hot Matt Rhule's seat is, and knowing that even if we win on Sunday, it doesn't necessarily mean that Matt Rhule has saved his job forever. It just means that maybe he delayed the inevitable a little bit. Mm-hmm. Are we kind of low-key maybe hoping that the Saints kind of finish the job for us this Sunday?
I wouldn't say I'm hoping.
Let's answer it right now. I can't wait. I can't wait till after the call. I got to answer this.
Go ahead.
Is this... Do you know that I may have, you know, like you get that, have you ever been on a tall building and you're like looking over the edge and you're like, I wonder, what would it be like if I just fucking did it?
Are you trying to tell us something?
Or no, I think it's like something, I don't know what it is. I think it's a human thing. Is like you're kind of just at that moment contemplating your mortality and the control. Like it's kind of like the idea of you're going 70 miles an hour down the road and you're like, what if I just jerk this wheel and treat it? You know what I'm saying? Is like you don't really want to do it, but this like creeping weird thing. It's like it's like almost like a tip, like a weird. It's like the devil tip. You know what I mean? It's just something.
It's like the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other.
Like, why? Shoulder. I mean, I don't want to kill myself. I have no desire to kill myself. Like I really rather kill other people than kill myself. But you're like, what would it be like if I just, you know, like, what if I just made the mistake that couldn't be taken back? And I kind of thought, like, what if the Panthers really just lose bad here in New York and it's just over? It felt like, I mean, it kind of crept into my mind last week. Is like, do we just drive this car into that tree over there?
Chat room is telling us that it's that's the call of the void is what it's referred to.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, it's something to it. And you don't really want to do it, but you're like,
I wonder. Yeah.
Like, what if you made the mistake you can't unmistake? I don't know.
Hey, think about it, y'all. Like,
all right, let's go to the next call.
Yeah, it's your boy Josh from Mass.
What up, Josh?
Why is Chuba Hubbard returning kicks? And why did Shi Smith leave his fucking hands in Charlotte when the team went to New York? Man, that boy couldn't catch a cold. I bet you he never even caught COVID. Shit. And where's Higgins? You know, the guy that Baker already has a rapport with. Why isn't he out there?
Yeah.
What?
All valid questions.
And where's Chenault?
Yep.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yep.
What? I don't get it. I don't get these decisions. I just don't get them. You know, some people are, if you hold the other team,
I think
put about none of this on the defense. None of it. You shut down Saquon Barkley. The man was a non-factor for 3 3/4 quarters. He had a couple big runs, big deal. You stuff down a guy like that, you're doing something right. It's just a lot of offense just not being on the same page. They're just not there. And I look at this and I go, well, maybe we should have called off the all for show QB competition and let the first team offense start gelling back in, I don't know, early August.
Yeah.
Instead of 2 weeks before the season.
Amen,
you know,
brother.
You got a rookie left tackle who, yeah, he's had some growing pains, but that's going to happen. But again, some of this stuff could have been worked on for a little longer. we're all thinking it, we're all saying it, we all know that it needs to happen. If this team loses next week, which for all intents and purposes, we're going to lose to the Saints. We're going to get our asses fucking paddled. It's going to be goddamn embarrassing.
Yep.
This shit needs to get figured out. There's pieces there. There's enough talent on this team to win football games and to win enough to not be garbage. But it's just not being put in the proper place. We got the bullets, but the gun is not so good. We got a fucking old musket or some shit. We need an M16 if we're going to win games in this league. Josh from Mass, out.
Fantastic call. So far, that's my call of the night. Josh from Mass. Hey, the guy that Baker Mayfield had rapport with, Higgins, where is he? Why is he not in the offense?
That's why I played that clip earlier.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, wait a minute. How about the guy that you just traded for, Laviska Shenault? Where's that guy in the offense?
He was in the game. He made some plays in this game, right?
Yeah,
no,
but
did he not? I felt like I saw his name.
Wasn't he?
Maybe he had like one or two. It wasn't anything much.
He didn't have any catches.
And then our second round pick, Terrace Marshall Jr., who was a part of a historic college that won a national title, and you can't find shit to do with this man. Dude, I honestly don't know what kind of person still looks at this team and defends Matt Rhule. I don't know who does it. Like, what kind of, closed-minded optimist that's willing to shut their mind off to every meaningful fact around the Carolina Panthers still tries to find some hope around this inept coaching staff. I couldn't imagine.
Greg, pull up Terrence Marshall Jr.'s career stats for me as we play this next call.
Hey, Cody, can you come out with one of those mock drafts next week, please? I'm ready, baby. I want to fucking die, guys.
Good God. We're already in the draft. All right, let's go to the next call.
Yo, what's good, C3? It's JD 864.
JD.
I'm listening to the podcast and decided to call in, try to inject a little bit of positivity if I can into this conversation. Fans everywhere, fans of the Panthers everywhere have a right to be mad and upset. I myself am not happy with the 0-2 start. And I have little to no faith in Rhule and many of the coaches that are part of his staff. That being said, I do, however, have faith in these players. And over these last 2 weeks, watching the games, what I garnered from them was that miscues on the players. And I mean, I say that miscues on the players, and you can easily say, well, that's coaches. Coaches have to coach, players have to play. And it's the truth. But a coach can't control their quarterback essentially killing 5 plays by botching the snap. A coach can't control a wide receiver having an off game. I say that about Shot because in the entirety of me watching him at South Carolina, dude never had an issue with dropping passes. So to me, that's an off game. I mean, penalties at the wrong time. That's on coaches, but that's on the player too. Just being smart, being cerebral, being in the moment. This team in both matchups, week 1 and week 2, they were right there. For as terrible as they played, they were right there. Now, we could say the Browns aren't a great team. We could say the Giants aren't a great team. And who knows, they may go on to show that they're not great teams and we lost to them. But at the same damn time, I'm looking at this, and to me, I'm saying these players clean up the drop passes, clean up the penalties, right? You saw the defense have 18 missed tackles week 1. They cleaned that up in week 2. You see week 2, receivers having issues with catching the ball, securing the catch. That's on you. That's on the player. That's mental. Clean that shit up, and that game goes in a totally different direction. So my faith in the team comes down to me having faith in these players more so than the coaches. I've seen those guys go out there and ball to a certain extent. So it ain't all bad. It's week 2. We 0-2. It is what it is. But I feel like as this offense starts to get its shit together, this team will look better. They will
Is that
get
a
better.
real chicken in the background?
Yeah,
Like a
he's got
rooster?
roosters.
So that's just me. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It is.
Look, we want
You know,
to...
something tells me that JD lives at JD lives in Hawaii. If
Yeah,
you
he's
didn't
like
know, so
like
something tells me that he's got like a nice
paradise.
view. Yeah, I know he lives.
Yeah,
next
he
to
feels better than everybody. He's like, oh man, look at this. Look at the bright side of the world and the planet, and life is great.
Now,
The
JD
upside of Hawaii. No, you know, you got to have roosters around there because it's so damn expensive. You probably need them making baby chickens with them hens. He said, that's my gamecock. That's awesome. The thing is that JD, I really like. First, I'm glad you bring that perspective to the table, right? As everybody is in the Monday morning, now it's Tuesday doldrums, right? Like where we got to touch the bottom of the pool each week, and then by Thursday and Friday, we'll probably be picking the Panthers to beat the Saints somehow. But the thing is, at what point do we stop? I felt like we've had that mentality for so many games and days. Like, I mean, at what point does the evidence not match the? And look, I mean, I just feel like this team should just be better than it is. And he's right. You know what I'm saying? They got more talent. It's like, how are you this bad? How are you this bad? Let's go to the next call. This is run. Let me see. I think this is it.
Hey, this is Boomer.
Oh, wait.
Sooner.
Nope, wrong one.
Hey, how's it going, C3 Podcast? My name is Boomer Sooner 69420, and I just needed to tell y'all why y'all are losing. Okay, so y'all have this one receiver. His name is Shy Shit or something like that. He dropped so many balls, man.
Dude.
But also, I just wanted to tell y'all that Baker Mayfield's gonna be good. He is good. He played great in that game. It was just the team let him down. And also, I think another reason y'all are losing is because your coach is afraid he's going to lose his job. So he's scared. So I think y'all need to do what we do in college and give him some job security and give him an extension of like 5 years and see how that works for you. All right? Take care.
Here's Boomer Sooner. Here's some more.
This is Boomer Sooner 42069. And I just got to tell y'all something about Baker Mayfield. All right? This dude is a legend. Not only in Oklahoma, but soon to be in Carolina, okay? This boy has that dog in him. You don't understand. They did an x-ray on his bones. This dude is a dog, okay? Another thing I got to tell y'all.
He laughed at his own joke.
I'm kidding right now. But another thing I got to tell y'all is Matt Rhule is not that bad of a coach, guys. I've seen worse, okay? I've seen Urban Meyer. He looked terrible, okay? But Matt Rhule and Ben Mackerel, he can call a good offense, all right?
We need more calls like this.
At New York, and he is a good offensive genius, all right? I see him play calling over there on the sidelines all the time, and this dude knows what the hell he's up to, okay? Another thing, Phil Snows, all right? That dude can put a blizzard on the defense, all right? That dude is a freaking legend down in Baylor, all right? And we hate Baylor here in Oklahoma, and we always whip their ass. But that's not because Matt Rhule. It's just because we have so much talent on our team. We got 5 stars, 4 stars. You know, Matt Rhule didn't have nothing. So all I'm going to say is, last thing, all right? Baker Mayfield's about to plant that flag down in the Saints Stadium, okay? He's going to be rocking and rolling, and y'all are going to be like, oh, my God, why did we ever doubt Big Bakers, all right?
Yeah.
And he's about to bake the Saints a cake and plant it down in midfield. Hey, this is Boomer Sooner 42069 calling in for the last time, okay? And I got to fight to pick some guy named Panther Pickle, okay? This guy right here, he doesn't understand that a 3-3-5 is perfectly fine to run, okay? Especially on first down. Those safeties can run into that ball and hit that running back so quick they wouldn't even know what hit them, all right? Now, the only problem with the defense, Panther Pickles, is y'all don't have players, all right? They're all trash. Some guy named Brian Burns is like 200 pounds. He shouldn't even be playing defensive end. He's complete garbage. And that 3-3-5 defense works great in college. It could obviously work in the NFL. I don't know what he's talking about, but that's one of my issues with that Panther Pickle guy. And another thing, Phil Snow is an amazing defensive coordinator.
My God.
Him at Baylor, oh my God, you wouldn't even believe it. All right? Complete dominance on the defense. All right?
All right. Thank
Now,
you,
it's got no
Boomer
Brett
Soon.
Venables defense, so I'll tell you that. The Brett Venables.
Hey,
coach,
shout out
all
Brett Venables.
But sure as hell better than most defenses. I'll tell you that. Another thing, this guy named Cody Lashney.
Oh,
he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, boy. If you come down here yapping like that in Oklahoma, you wouldn't know what hit you, boy. It's a whole other ball game down here. We got real football fans on here and knows what Baker Mayfield is all about. And that man is about nothing but championship, legendary status, and running away from fleas. That's what he can do. Hey, be quiet, baby. I'm talking to this guy. All right? And Tony Dunn, I love you, brother. I love the hair. I love you.
Oh man, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for the calls. Hey, let's go to this. Is Greg? Hopefully, you know that the Boomer. We need more calls like Boomer Sooner. Like, bring some comedy. We're gonna need some levity to this podcast.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna need a lot more.
Like, I mean, we need Matt Rhule. Like, somebody can call in as Matt Fool. Like, we need some good things. I used to love when other callers impersonated other callers. That was my one favorite thing. Like, that's what they would do, is like, and so then you would think it was going to be this person. Is like, you know who it is. It's not G Baby. So that's fun. The number's 252-228-5098. We'll go through one more call and then we'll come back to these Terrace Marshall Juniors. It's chat, get in here. Is Terrace Marshall Jr. just a straight bust? Is he the biggest bust, arguably, in Panther draft history at this point? I want to know, is Dwayne Jarrett? Was Dwayne Jarrett a better receiver than Terrace Marshall Jr.?
Ooh.
Next call.
Hey. It's Why Charlie. So what's happening? So I gotta dead this shit about people saying we need to fire Matt Rhule right now. It's not going to happen, and it's bad for the franchise. Coaches, what do I want to say about coaches? They have a tight-knit circle. If you fire Matt Rhule after his second game, it's not a good look for up-and-coming coaches. Great coaches don't want to come here. Like, if you're going to fire Matt Rhule, you should have done it in the offseason. It would have been a better look than after 2 games. Even though I do want him fired. No, you can't do it after 2 games. It's not good for that. And the players. Oh, they're firing a coach after 2 games. Why would I want to go there? Why would I want to go there? You know,
well, it's really like 30 games, though.
Yeah.
All of that. It's not good. You want to fire him after week 6? Cool. But after 2 games, no. You can't do that. You would look like a bigger clown show. And people are freaking out. And I get it. We should have won those 2 games. But you know what? We lost by a field goal, people, in the last 2 games. It wasn't a blowout. It wasn't a blowout. Just, you know, people need to understand there are unwritten rules in football and the NFL. And people don't take kindly to firing a coach after 2 games, even if he deserves it. It's not going to happen. So, but I will say, my wish list, you know, Kansas City's offensive coordinator, who I can't say his name. I don't know why. Every time I do it, I fucking struggle.
Eric Bieniemy, yeah.
I want the Cowboys offense coordinator, Kellen Moore.
Oh, that's a good one.
Take him.
The fucking old Dolphins head coach, Brian Flores.
Take him.
You know, strangely, I saw.
Those are my top 3 candidates.
What's interesting is is like,
yeah, those are my thoughts.
A lot of players don't go to bat for Flores.
Yeah, that's the question mark there.
You know,
of the story with Brian Flores and Eric Bieniemy is that apparently there's a lot of players that I guess don't think too highly of those guys. Again, it's all rumors and shit. There's no way that I would know, but I mean, apparently, like with Eric Bieniemy, inevitably with him, it always comes up with the Rooney Rule, and he's not getting his chance like a lot of other black coaches, and a lot of other minority coaches have since been named after Eric Bieniemy has had all this success with Kansas City. So
I don't trust the Bieniemy though, because it's really Andy Reid's the mastermind, and so I don't know Bieniemy well enough, but it's like it's just like I mean Andy Reid has been the only coach ever to take 2 different teams to 3 consecutive championship games. He did it 3 times in a row with the Eagles. He did it 3 times. Like Eric Reid's over there calling the plays. Like, it's just straight. I mean, just watch the games. I mean, he's calling the plays. He's the offensive mastermind. Now, I'm not saying that Bieniemy hasn't learned from him and Bieniemy isn't good. I just don't want to overly associate Kansas City's success with Bieniemy, just like Joe Brady's success was a little over associated, I think, with LSU's in a way. So that's interesting. I'd like for a lot of people are chiming in on the biggest bust Panthers draft bust ever. And I think really like one of the things is that there's after the second round, it's kind of like, I don't care. It's third round and beyond. Who
are the big time picks that we failed to hit on?
There are. All right. So a few come to mind. Dwayne Jarrett is at the top is one of the top of the list. Dwayne Jarrett was a highly touted receiver out of USC. We got him in the beginning of the second round, I believe, and he was just so dumb. Like he literally, and you hate to say that, but he's just
What year was he drafted? What year?
This probably would have been 07-ish.
Oh, that's why he's not familiar.
Yeah, right? USC, right?
Yeah.
What about
Dwayne Jarrett? Chris Weinke actually played. Yeah, I think he's terrible. I hate it. That he was a bum, but he was also 30. What are we doing drafting a quarterback that's 30 years old?
But 30 years old is your prime. It can be in your prime in the NFL.
But
he
you're
just went to
first
college,
in the NFL. He was a stinker. Yeah. I would put I put Dwayne Jarrett at the top there. I would put right now is you got to put Terrace Marshall Jr. up there. I'm sorry. It's like, and you know what? It might not be, he might be a victim of circumstance. He might not be the reason that he's a bust, but if he doesn't go and play games, you know what I'm saying? And he just fizzles out. It's a complete wasted second round pick.
Yeah.
You're talking about even Coney Ealy had one great game. He had the Super Bowl, bro. He could, if the Panthers win the Super Bowl, Coney Ealy's the MVP.
Yeah,
he's the MVP of that game. He had the same exact game that Von Miller had. It's just Von Miller's team won. Funchess had a good year. He's had 2 good years. You know what I'm saying? He was never great, but he produced. So I would put Dwayne Jarrett. I would put Terrace Marshall Jr. in that conversation.
Would could be in there? Do we draft him? Pick him up? Expect him to be like a franchise?
Yeah, he was a first round pick, and he won the Heisman. Let's see, Tim Bianco.
Algernon Ramsher says Jeff Ota. Trey Bennett.
He was good at least for a little while, and then he just got hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was actually good for a moment. Who'd you say, Bianca?
Trey Burnett says Vernon Butler. So based.
He's up there in the conversation too. He was a first round pick. He's not even in the league anymore. Kelvin Benjamin, if he wouldn't have had that one season when he got 1,000-yard season,
his rookie year was better than Julio Jones' rookie year.
Yeah, but let me tell you this though. I don't care about that 1,000-yard season. The biggest bust is Kelvin Benjamin, because number one, not only was he drafted to be Cam's long-term number 1 wide receiver, but he tanked his own career by not only not taking care of his body, not only by not being a good friend and teammate to the other players on the team that he turned his back on, including Cam Newton, but then I'm telling you, this will never leave my mind. When the Panthers were playing the Chargers in 2016, We're in the red zone. Cam Newton throws a pass to Kelvin Benjamin. Kelvin Benjamin doesn't even barely go for the ball. It's intercepted by one of the corners from the Chargers, and they proceed to take it to the house. Cam Newton chased down that pick six all the way to the opposite end zone and fell on his right throwing shoulder. A lot of people think TJ Watt is what really did in Cam's throwing shoulder. That might have been the nail in the coffin, but that play in 2006, because of Kelvin Benjamin, is what really did start the physical decline of Cam Newton, and I will never forgive him for that. I think he's the biggest bust in Panthers history.
Yeah, there's got to be a way to us to, well, you know what, this is going to be a good debate my take thing. We can do that, or we need to get we really need to put some thought into this, because some of the busts, there's like some factors that go into it. Like if you're a first round pick versus a second round pick, you're a bigger bust if you fail as a first round pick. So Timbiaka Batuka, who did suffer so many injuries, you feel for him. It wasn't that he wasn't good. It's just injury killed him. He did have 780 yards rushing in one season, though. So he had a season where he was somewhat productive. Kelvin Benjamin has that 1,000-yard season. Devin Funchess had some productivity in that 2015 run. But right now, as you're just talking about a guy who's been, I mean, I think Vernon Butler, absent. You know what I'm saying? He played some game. Terrace Marshall Jr. just ain't even seen the field. Like, imagine that. Imagine if he's, like, cut next year.
Yeah.
That would just be fucking wild. Just be wild. Second-round pick, not even touching the ball.
You want to hear stats?
What were his stats? Yeah, tell me his stats.
He had 30 targets last year, his rookie year, with 17 receptions for 138 yards and no touchdowns. And then his stats this year are
zero.
He's not even listed on 2022 for stats.
That's crazy.
Doesn't have the zero on there.
Second round pick. That's the thing. A second round pick. Shi Smith was a 6th round pick. And he had more targets in last game. He had more drops than damn what's his name had catches. Next call.
What up, C3? JSU.
What up, JSU?
I'm looking at the comments, and I'm seeing a lot of people saying the Bengals are 0-2. But let's not forget who's our head coach.
Right.
Let's not forget who lost the locker room by his second year. His first year, he got a bypass. I don't know why. Not to mention, his third year supposed to be his promise year. Nothing is going in his way. Nothing is ever going to go in Matt Rhule's way. And then in the media, I believe Rhule talked about going 0-2 and then getting on a winning spree, and then that's all they wrote. We need to stop harping on the L's that we do take with Matt Rhule, saying that the score is close. Who gives a fuck? Like, we are losing games. We haven't made the playoffs with Matt Rhule. He can't even, when we're down, he has yet to make the team come back from a pointless deficit. Like, start with the excuses. Matt Rhule is not it. I'm not understanding anybody that has Matt Rhule's back. Like, are y'all related to him? That's all I got to say.
Thank you for the call. The number's 252-228-5098.
Hey. You know who the fuck it is.
Oh, shit.
Booyaka. What's good, fellas? I want to talk about a couple of things. I owe somebody an apology. Dan Campbell, the head coach of the Detroit Lions.
We thought it'd be us.
Apology, bro.
Oh, I love Dan
I found you for your, we're going to bite off their kneecaps. Bruh, you're doing one hell of a job, G.
I'm begging for
you
a
got
coach
some
like
men
that.
behind you. They believe in you. They bought into your fucking process, man. And you're doing one hell of a fucking job. Hey, Panther Nation, culture, a culture change. That's what a culture change looks like. That's what a rebuild fucking looks like. Damn, man, I used to clown that dude. Dan Campbell, I'm sorry, G. Back to the Carolina Panthers.
I know, he always stayed
that
crying.
Pick. We're in a good position to just get that number 1 pick. And there's only two men I'm looking at. CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. I've been talking about this
Miss favorite Bryce Young.
now. Generational type talent.
His favorite.
We gotta go get them fools, man. Now we will fuck this up. I can just definitely see us fucking this shit up.
Which one's
man.
the Alabama one?
But let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna be calling in tonight. Man.
You don't like him?
I'm nice. I'm calm. I'm very calm. And then there's a good reason why I didn't put my feelings into this season because I knew this is what it was gonna be, man. Hey, C-Dog was good, G. I'm gonna call in, boys.
I tell you one thing that's wild. I was thinking about this is Jalen Hurts has really turned out to be a good quarterback.
First two games, Dak does the same thing in the beginning of every season too.
But he's looked good. But the thing that I will give to the Eagles credit is they do the same thing. Like Sirianni, they're playing for that guy. And they're putting the pieces around.
I made fun of him too with his processes and systems comment too.
Right. But he's got those guys bought in. It doesn't feel like people are buying into whatever Matt Rhule is selling in this locker room. That's the thing. Like even with Arthur Smith, right? Or am I right? Yeah. Arthur Smith of the
That's
Falcons,
the Falcons.
Right?
Falcons, yeah.
Like even though they might not be doing good, like those guys are fighting for for him at the end of the day. I'm like I said, I'm fully in support of these coaches and what they've been able to do. The Eagles are a very good example of what coaching will do, but also what an actual good GM will do about putting actual talent around a quarterback that shows promise. But what they did is they aren't buying high and selling low, right? They got rid of Carson Wentz, and then they could have drafted a quarterback this year. Like by all accounts, people were thinking they should have, but they didn't because they trusted who they had and they went with it and they put the pieces around him to be successful. They weren't they weren't quick to jump off the bridge and go with a new quarterback and have this constant revolving door. Right now, that's what the Panthers are dealing with.
Yeah.
Cody, put this up. Tell us what you put up real quick.
Yeah, shout out to Padawan Panther. He sent this to me. This is from Barstool Sports. They did their power rankings, I guess, or their tier list, rather, of top to bottom, from juggernauts to Super Bowl contenders, all the way down to quarterback away to booty. And Panthers at the very bottom of the list, written under booty, along with the Indianapolis Colts and the Nebraska Cornhuskers, baby. That's right. Some people think we're just as bad as a college team. And how coincidental, because that's probably Matt Rhule's next up.
Yeah.
On to Nebraska he goes.
What's up with the jail? It says Aaron Rodgers jail.
Basically, like he's stuck somewhere where he doesn't want to be.
Okay.
Because they doesn't have a lot of offensive weapons.
Yeah, he signed the
That's
contract.
his fault. All right, let's go to the next call.
What's happening, C3 family? This is Hemlock.
What's up, Hemlock?
I just wanted to say, loving the show, not loving our Panthers, though.
Yes, sir.
It's really hard to watch. I loved how the defense started to step up. We had some hiccups because of the turnovers, but I was really disappointed. It seemed like our play calling got really soft in the second half, and our defense started reflecting the freaking lost look on our coach's face every time they showed the sidelines, and they just seemed to have given up. I mean, we rocked that first half, I could not believe we held Shaquan for 5 yards, and then we just laid down. I don't understand what's going on. I think that is a reflection of our head coach. The players don't have heart because the coach freaking looks lost every time they show him on the sideline. Anyways, love the show, guys. Keep it up. If you haven't hit the like button, pound that like button. We need every bit of support we can.
Man, this is
Y'all
my
take
favorite
care.
call of the night. My favorite call of the night, man. Thank you for your
The
support.
C3 fam showing out. You gotta love
I'm
it.
telling you, our goal is to build a community where everybody gets a place, a safe space to be a fan. And a safe space to be a fan means you be your fan. I'm not a gatekeeper fan. I hate a gatekeeper fan. Actually, I won't say I hate a gate. That's me. I don't hate any. But like, I just like, look, whatever you feeling and thinking is okay to think. It's okay to say. You can be as harsh. You can be as forgiving. You can be as happy and exuberant or mad and sad as you want. Because we're the ones that make the Panthers matter. Yes, they play the games. Yes, they are talented. Yes, they are superstar, like they're athletes, they're the 1%. But at the end of the day, this is a game that is meant for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
It is a competitive sport, but the reason the NFL is a bazillion-dollar entity is because we can't get enough of it. So, you know what? We're their constituents. We are their constituents. You are our constituents. Keep being a part of it. I love that call. Let's go to the next one.
Hey guys, it's former President Bill Clinton here. I saw him talking to Hillary and said, that C3 podcast, they got it going on. I'm making a prediction, guys. Panthers are going to get multiple turnovers this weekend because they haven't had any. And they're going to beat the Saints. It's a rivalry game. This is going to be a win for Carolina. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. So you guys keep on keeping on because I'm telling you, I told Hillary heads or tails. And if it's heads, you got to go down there like Monica did. we're gonna win this game, guys. Trust me.
Hey, thank you, Bill. President Clinton, thank you, President Clinton. I got 2 stories for you about President Clinton. One, they say that he can do the Sunday, the New York Times Sunday crossword puzzle, which is the hardest one of the week. They get harder. The easiest one's on Monday. They get progressively harder each day. Sunday's the hardest one. They say Bill Clinton can do it in under an hour, which is like incredible. It's like the people that write it can't even do it in under an hour. And then the other thing,
who is they? Like, who says that about him?
I don't know. I mean, it's just like something that people have said. I've heard that he can do that. He's done it like consistently. Like he's crazy good at the crossword puzzle. Another cool fun fact about him is he's like wildly good at remembering people's names. So, and this is a great trait for you if you want to be a politician, is like you go into a room and you temporarily remember people's names. So like when he's shaking hands on the way in and kissing babies, on the way out, he's like, "Hey, CK, I hope you do good with that drone flying thing." And that just endears you to him. And then also here, him and Deshaun Watson, they got some similar interests.
Same,
Next call.
A little touchy.
Next call.
This is G, baby. Panther Nation, there's 2 other QBs that will be entering the draft.
Sorry, G, baby. I'm sorry. We love all of y'all, man. We do all love all you, but we're going to try to really stick to this one. I have so many mixed feelings about this. Like, I want to play every call. I want every caller to be served.
Do we have like 1 million calls left?
No, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 more.
Man, just play it.
All right. I like you.
This is G, baby.
Thank you.
Panther Nation, there's 2 other QBs that will be entering the draft that I want you guys to pay attention to, and that's Caleb Williams.
We're talking about
out of
the
USC,
draft, week 2,
and Quinn Ewers out of Texas. Now I want to talk
Quinn
about
Ewers
the Texans real quick. Brian Burns' contract extension is coming up. There's no way in hell we offer him a contract. We're in rebuild mode. There's no way in hell that we're going to pay a pass rusher of his caliber top money. I just don't think it's worth it. J.C. Horn. Now, corner. going into his third year. Normally, you want to offer him a fucking contract. Are we really gonna offer J.C. Horn a big ass contract?
We're not even close to that. It's year 2.
Christian McCaffrey, gotta get traded. Shaq Thompson, gotta get traded. We gotta get.
Tony, read your bastard son's comment.
We gotta build through the draft, man. I don't understand why we draft these players and we send them off and we trade for other players from other teams. It just doesn't make sense. Like Chenault, we traded a 5th round for Chenault. For what? He doesn't even suit up. What was that pick for? It's a wasted pick.
It's kind of weird why you do it and don't care about it.
So yeah,
I do think this is a legitimate conversation.
Man.
Hey, read the comment.
Guys, this might be worse than the Jimmy Clausen
one?
days.
Tony?
Yeah. Remember when I
we're
told
heading
you
down that route.
They disagree with each other.
I need Panther Nation to prepare themselves, man. Because I don't believe David Tepper's gonna fucking fire Matt Rhule. I just don't. I need to believe. I need to see it to believe it, bro.
It's gonna happen.
I see why
David Tepper, show me you got some big fucking brass balls, dog. Fire this bitch.
He doesn't. It's all fake.
I don't believe you gonna do it, see? I don't.
I like this.
Man,
Good call by
who
G
the
Baby
fuck
here.
this is, man.
It's a good call.
I'm out.
Look, first of all, is this even G Baby sounds battered and beaten?
Dude, G Baby sounds like he's off a Percocet right now.
Yeah, he's like on a Xanax or something.
Yeah, he sounds like he's
finally listened to everybody and took that Xanax. The thing is, somebody said that what was it? White Chop, my bastard son, said that he heard that he did the crossword puzzle on Epstein's plane.
Yeah.
I think this is like, look, I give credit to Bill. It's like I don't feel like he's a child guy though. I feel like he look like he's a take the 28-year-old.
Every other woman that he can get his hand on. I don't know. I can go deep on that, but there's some real conspiracy shit around there.
All right, let's go to the next call.
Hey guys, Chuck from Elizabeth City, aka Carolina Sports Guy. Cody, Tony, CK, Greg, look guys, you do a wonderful job.
Thank you.
And I get tired of hearing people on the internet, on the radio, these call-in shows, and everybody's got their opinions that, we've done this wrong, we've done that, Matt Rhule's getting fired this week, but who's getting hired next week? Something's missing, guys. And we're paying for the sins of our fathers. It dates all the way back when Ron Rivera was hired. Yeah, he did a nice little piece. He did a little job there, and it really is tied to Cam. I'm sorry, Cam toted his ass. But the mistakes Hurney made with the salary cap, not knowing how to draft in later rounds, Gettleman comes in with his bargain basement picks and loving hog mollies, but didn't know how to hold on to people like Josh Norman and Matt Khalil's contract was a mistake. His terrible 2016 draft with Bradbury is the only thing that any damn good. And just how he handled veterans and the contracts. And of course, we had some injuries go by. Luke with concussions. Greg, breaking his foot several times. And Cam with his issues of injuries. And we never got it back, guys. We never got it back. Ever since that one game, we played Pittsburgh on that Thursday night, and we were looking so good. Injury to Cam, and we just sunk. We've been sank ever since. And we can blame Rivera, we can blame Rhule, we can blame all these GMs. Federer gets a pass for me. For right now.
It's not a pass as so much as just the jury's still out.
From the situation.
Right.
Well,
the whole situation.
After Greg,
guys, something's missing. And look, between us and Atlanta, at least Atlanta's admitted they've blown it up. They got rid of Matt Ryan. They've decided to build again. They're at the bottom. Keep putting a Band-Aid on some of the same damn wounds. Shoot myself in the foot. Never getting it right. Something is wrong in this organization. And until we blow everything up, it's never going to be a safe haven for players to come again. Take a look at healthy franchises like Baltimore. Guys, I don't know what else to say. I'd just like to freaking get a damn win. I'd be happy with that. Thanks, guys.
Great call. Chuck is the man.
Very, very good call. I agree with a lot of his call, except for the beginning part of the paying for the sins of our fathers type thing. I think we're far enough removed from that where we can't say that what's happening now had to do with the previous GMs and coaches. Because whenever this set of GMs and coaches and owner took over, we had the bulk of that team left, and the bulk of that team went 15-1, went to the Super Bowl, and won 3 NFC South titles in that tenure. So even though we may pick on how bad they did, they were way more successful than anything we've ever put out since they were here. So I don't think we're paying for the sins of them. I think that had we stuck with some of the stuff they had, not all of it, we'd be in a better situation. We overcorrected. That's what it was. We completely overcorrected with rookies and bad coaching decisions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I agree with you, but I really don't have anything to disagree on that front. Mine goes to Fitterer. I know C-Dog doesn't like Fitterer. I know there's.
I think people overpraise Fitterer already.
Well, he might be overpraised, but okay. Did you at least not want to see what kind of coaching hire he would make?
No, I'm willing to. Jury's still out. Jury's still out, but people act like he's a genius, and he ain't done shit either.
But I feel like one of the reasons why we say this about him is because the team is so bad, and he's the general manager, and it's hard to not connect those two. And that's fair. But I can't get rid of this nagging feeling like Matt Rhule is dragging everyone to the bottom. By the way, especially if you believe the insider report that I put out, that Carlos Dunlap wanted to come to Carolina, but since Matt Rhule was doing this BS competition thing at every spot, Fitterer couldn't give Dunlap the kind of contract that would get Dunlap to the Panthers. I'm a fan of a lot of the draft picks that Fitterer has made. I'm a fan of the free agents. I would like to give Fitterer an opportunity to let him hire the coach of his choosing. I honestly believe that he would get it right. I really do.
I kind of fall in the middle on this one. I'm okay with the idea. Like I'm reserving judgment on Scott Fitterer as a GM, but I do think that this idea that he's just been very good and it's just been Matt Rhule that's been the problem. I think that's an overplay. Is that there's a lot of questions about some of the moves that they've made that haven't panned out, right? Whether it be free agency moves, maybe it's a lack of moves, maybe it's some of these trades. Like even this Shenault, like why trade for Shenault if you didn't have an idea what you were going to do with him? Yeah. Like these are kind of the Dan Arnold. We signed Dan Arnold, then we trade him away. Like we also mortgaged a lot of our draft picks away, right? Is like while we accumulated all these draft picks in his first season as GM, we used them all last year, and then like we didn't really have a lot of ammo this year. You could say they traded up for Matt Corral. There's a lot of things that he's not been flawless. So I can see both people's sides here. Like if you want to say get rid of Matt Rhule and let's see what Fitterer can do on his own as the chef and the cook or the manager of the kitchen, I understand that. I think there's a point to that. But I also can see what C-Dog's saying is like sometimes let's just throw it all. It's time for the purge. And we should do it the right way. And you know what? Was everybody, and it's not a receipt thing. I don't want to say like we're right. It's like it was obvious. We did this backwards. You don't hire the coach and then hire the GM. It creates a inverted power structure that shouldn't exist. Like there, is that all of a sudden the GM is trying to walk in the steps of the coach or vice versa? It's just a dumb way of doing it. You bring in, and it's the guy from remember we brought in, he has a school. His name will come to me. We had a guest on this show, and he's the one that put me on this idea. He used to work in the Jets front side, and he said this is you handcuff a GM and a coach together. You put them in chains together and they live together and succeed together or they die together. And then there's no question there's no blame game. There's no, I wanted to draft this guy. Think about Terrace Marshall Jr. What are you going to say right here? Immediately we're saying this is it's a Scott Fitterer pick. and Rhule don't like him. And it didn't work out. So what is Scott Fitter going to say? It didn't work out because of Matt Rhule. Matt Rule's going to say it didn't work out because they didn't like him. I told you not to draft him. And it's a blame. It's that Spider-Man meme. Bring them together, live and die together, fly together or fall together. That's what I say. Let's go to the next goal.
Hey guys, it's Joey the Blind Panther, aka the growl that makes them howl. And man, it's so damn hard to be optimistic about this stupid fucking football team, dude. Man, oh man. Like, you know, I put in the comment in the beginning, yeah, we could still go 15-2, which that was the most sarcastic thing I may have ever said. Because, you know, this team, it's getting bad. But I know y'all don't like the fact that we use this song every time we win. Don't worry, guys. We're not going to be hearing that song very much at all this year because we're not going to win very much at all this year. But I got a parody of it nonetheless. Anyway, it goes like this. We Caroline, fuck Matt Rhule. We ain't never been so bad. So bad. So bad. So bad.
Right.
Anyway, guys.
Good calls tonight. We need this. I'm gonna need y'all's energies. I need y'all's help. It was a tough. It's been a tough 2 days for me. I've been kind of wallowing in my own misery when it comes to this, and I almost sent the message to you, Cody. Can you set the show up? I was like gonna be like, I'm dealing with the kids, and I wasn't dealing with the kids. I mean, I was and I wasn't.
Dude, you and I always one step ahead of each other because I was going to before I saw you put it up.
But I was like, no, I'm going to. I always tell the longest running Panthers podcast, I'm like, I got to get energy for this too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, I'm not gonna let this beat me. But even for a moment, I was thinking like, God, I hope Cody does this. But then I got up and made this, you know. But anyway, next goal.
I was going to.
I know, there's no problem.
Good
like,
evening,
it's more
everyone.
reflection
It's me,
myself.
C-Dog, 1983. But it's just depressing, man. It's real depressing. I'm trying to make this real short and sweet. But maybe we need to just wait for Matt Rhule to get fired and see can we bring in a competent head coach for next season. So we don't waste DJ Moore or Christian McCaffrey or Brian Burns elite years, you know. But this is a travesty, man. And it's so crazy because when Tepper fired Riviera, he said that you know, he was done with mediocrity or mediocre or whatever, and brought in this mediocre ass college coach who is just fucking terrible. You know, he can't outcoach nobody. You know. But I feel sorry for the players, man. You know, 'cause they gotta go out there, run a bullshit 3-3-5. That's not gonna stop anything. You know, damn sure ain't gonna stop a damn run defense. You know, it's frustrating, man. You know, I'm surprised Steve Wilkes ain't fucking quit. You know, hopefully, goddamn Matt Rhule get fired and Steve Wilkes is in control for the rest of the season. That's the best we can hope for. And for Baker Mayfield, I'm so glad motherfuckers are finally seeing the light on this bum ass. You know, Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, fucking same. Motherfuckers were talking about he took the Cleveland Browns to the playoffs and all this bullshit. Man, Blake Bortles got them won a playoff game. Goddamn, Brock Osweiler won a playoff game. There's some other motherfuckers who don't want a playoff game, you know. But man, like, come on, man, you know. But now everybody sees, the world fucking sees, you know. And you know, the funny thing is, man, Skip Bayless is still on the Baker Mayfield train, but Shannon Sharp be eating his ass alive every day on the show. They talk about the goddamn Panthers and Baker Mayfield bum ass. But anyways, man, y'all boys, great show, great content as always. When you come in here, make sure you hit the motherfucking like button. Make sure you motherfucking subscribe. And at Cody, if you can, man, at Cody Latney, if you get a chance, man, I need help with going live and everything. Because I was trying to go live Sunday, it won't let me go live for some reason. But just get with me, and I give you my number. You can give me your number. But keep pounding. Everybody have a great night, man.
And C-Dog, great
Yeah,
supporter of the podcast.
Tony, give me message me that number, C-Dog's number after the show. I'll hit you up, C-Dog. I got you, bro. And by the way, I put a poll
What's up?
in
This
the
is
chat.
Keo. I just want to start off by saying,
Sorry, I pressed the button first.
I put a poll in the chat if anybody would like to participate. If Matt Rhule is fired, should Scott Fitterer be fired as well? I got keep him or clean house. So interesting to see how people vote on that. But yeah, see, I got you, bro. I'll hit you up, see.
what's up? This is Keo. I just want to start off by saying, fuck the Saints. Fuck Drew Brees with his fucking broke collarbone, even though he ain't here no more. Fuck Alvin Kamara with his goddamn hot wing bone in his nose. Fuck Jameis Winston chewing on his own goddamn fingers, looking like a retard. Fuck the Saints. Fuck anybody that's got a Saint jersey, a Saints hat, or a fucking crawdad stuck up their ass. Fuck all them motherfuckers. Panthers, baby. And fuck Matt Rhule. Fuck Al Snow, Phil Snow, Jim Snowblow, whatever the goddamn fuck his name is. Get their asses out of here. I'd rather have goddamn Al Bundy as our coach.
I like it. I like it.
Fuck you, Saints.
Still my favorite.
Yeah.
This is still my favorite call ever. I want to hear it one more time.
Fuck you, Saints. Keep pounding.
I love how the kid giggles because their dad called into the show and said, "You can say this one time." You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's like, "Yes, I've been waiting. I've heard you say this all the time."
And you can tell that she feels so mischievous doing it too.
Oh yeah.
Like, I get to say it.
I know. It's like awesome. All right, next call.
Pretty great.
Hey, it's me, C-Dog, 1983. Only reason I'm calling back in because it's goddamn boomer, sooner, goddamn delusional, retarded ass. And he goddamn calling out motherfucking Panther Tickles and calling out motherfucking goddamn Cody Latney. You know what I'm saying? And real quick, before I even get started, real quick, man, Tony, y'all let me know if I got a cash app you for this second call.
No, you don't.
No problem. Now, with that being said, man, you dumbass Baker Mayfield fans, Boomer Sooner, or the rest of you goddamn test tube fucking babies. You know what I'm saying? When you call in here, have some motherfucking stats. Something to goddamn back up your shit about Baker Mayfield. Every time I bring up Baker Mayfield is leading the league in interceptions since 2018, more than Jared Goff, more than Sam Darnold. That is a fucking fact. That is actual stats. So when you come in here talking about this bum ass cracker, this bum ass goddamn quarterback. Make sure you got them.
It's like I could say goddamn. That's not as bad.
You can say cracker, C-Dog. I don't give a shit, bro.
Baker Mayfield played good this fucking week. Baker Mayfield ain't do a motherfucking thing. They're like last week. The only time he got them scored 2 touchdowns last week was because got them the coverage was broken. They got them the Browns got lackadaisical on got their defense. You know what I'm saying? Broke coverage 2 times. Like, come on, man. This nigga is fucking terrible, man. Fucking terrible. What did he fucking do? This last fucking game is winning the fucking game.
He was bad this
What the
past
fuck? Then on top of that, man, we're not even losing the goddamn quality quarterbacks. Danny Dimes goddamn and won't be with the Giants next year. He's the motherfucking backup. Fucking don't do fucking Brissett is the fucking career backup. You know what I'm saying? They lost, man, the fucking Browns off the fucking Jets. You know what I'm saying? Joe Flacco. Like, come on, man. That's the only reason I called in, man. I'm tired of this shit.
Shout out to
be calm, you know, cool and collect. Y'all motherfuckers keep
He
calling.
said, I gotta be calm, cool, and collect.
Motherfuckers. What? He's a fucking bum. Man, Baker Mayfield only got them. You know, he's the 3rd first-round pick, draft pick, number 1 pick. He did not even make it through his goddamn rookie contract. And the other 2 was goddamn Jamarcus Russell for the goddamn Oakland Raiders and somebody else. I can't think of the other person. But if you even in the same conversation with motherfucking Jamarcus Russell, that I automatically make you fucking trash. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? Like, this fucking dumbass shit. So when you come in here, when you call in here, have your motherfucking goddamn stats or something to back that bullshit up. And when you come in here, hit the motherfucking like button and motherfucking subscribe. Shout out to goddamn G Baby, the motherfucking GOAT.
And y'all boys got to have a great night. Great show
I
as
love how
always.
there's friendships being made. There's friendships
Yeah,
being
those are
made.
those are the Bash brothers, baby. C Dog and G Baby. That's like those are the homies, man. Hey, by the way, real quick, Tony, that drop you have with the girl saying "fuck the Saints" in our chat, that's Tim Estes' daughter.
Oh, is it? Oh, even
Yeah.
better. I love Tim too.
Yeah.
I love
Tim-
Tim.
Tim's the man. Tim's the
That's
man.
awesome. Next call.
Hey, fellas, this is Panther Billy calling in. Just want to say keep doing the great work of helping us vent and talk about these Carolina Panthers. And I know they've been letting us down the past few weeks, but I just have hope and faith that they'll eventually put it all together and get some wins. Also, I just want to say G-Baby is always whining like crazy. You need to go find another fan base. And C-Dog, stay off G-Baby's nuts. Speaking of nuts, old David Tepper and his brass balls, you know, I hope he doesn't read too much into Twitter here lately, because he might just pick up the Panthers and move them on down the road. And that would be very sad for me as a lifelong fan. Guys, keep up the good work. Everybody like, subscribe, donate these guys, help them keep the program going.
Love
Everybody
this.
keep pounding and have a good night.
Good call. Good call. I like that. I also like intercolor shame a lot. Like, so I love intercolor praise. I love intercolor, like impersonations. I also like when they battle each other in the calls too. You know what? This is your podcast. This is your podcast, your show. Last call of the night.
Hey, fellas, this is Panther Billy
this is the
calling
same one.
in.
Sorry. All right. That was the last call of the night. It was a good one to finish on. So look, I did want to talk about, we got to make our picks real quick, but I want to bring this up before we get, this is actually, we started the show with this question what was the question we started the show with are the Panthers a laughing stock of the NFL? CK, you referenced this a little bit earlier. I don't know if this is true, right? I mean, this person at Carolina Lynn 72 is her tag. So her tag is at Carolina Lynn 72. She has keep pounding in her name. Clearly, I mean, and also isn't looking like she's like a 19-year-old troll or something. You know what I'm saying? Like She don't look like she's a child.
Exactly.
So you probably think that this is, I don't know. I'm just thought this. She said they blocked me. Keep pounding. Hashtag fire Matt Rhule. Hashtag fire Matt Rhule. And I looked drilled down into the responses, and someone said, "Who did they?" And I'm pretty sure. I thought I knew she was talking about, but because she put she couldn't mention them. But if this is the case, the Carolina Panthers are blocking fans on social media. It's one thing. It's already where everybody over celebrates when they follow you, right? It's like, oh, you feel so cool that the team Twitter follows you. And it is not like, I mean, I was happy when they followed me. You know, I thought like, man, finally a tip of the cap in some way that I exist. We exist anyway.
Yeah.
But if they're blocking fans or blocking anybody, that really tells me that there's I don't know what is going on. I couldn't even imagine, like, unless you're saying something that's like terroristic that Twitter could disable your account for. I mean, what in the world? How soft and how fragile, how delicate has the Panthers media become? Like, what could merit this, CK? Can you see a world where this is actually a good thing or any could be reasonable?
No, I mean, I don't understand it at all. Like, honestly, it just makes me feel like this is a soft fan base or a soft organization. But the thing that I will say, and I kind of talked to you guys about, the only reason I think that this happened, because we've talked all shit, we could.
Sure.
And we're not blocked. I think that it probably had to do with that she made her post. Basically, she put hashtag fire Matt Rhule, that hashtag you're seeing there. But she put it about 65 times in one post on the Happy Birthday Frankie Louvu. post
Okay.
that the Panthers put out. So
so you investigated a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, because I was just like, it seemed like it was based on what I was looking at. It looked like it was more than one person that had gotten that treatment, and so I was wondering maybe where that came from. And it was from what I was able to ascertain, if you will, was that it had to, if I had to guess, it had more to do with that. I don't think that they're just out there blocking people that are saying fire Matt Rhule, but because I think it was at the expense of the Frankie Louvu birthday post, I think it's probably where it came from.
Mute it. If you just don't want to see it, like, you got to deal with these like that. You want our support. You want our discussion. Like, I mean, you got to take the good and the bad.
True.
I mean, it's not like she was like saying, like, go to this is his kid's address. Like, this
is she the only one that we know that has gotten blocked, or has this happened to other Panthers on Twitter?
I immediately went and checked to see if I was blocked, because I find all of these things, like, sometimes people will post a tweet from somebody and they'll be like, I can't believe they're saying this, and it's like, you can't see this. I'm like, man, I didn't know I was blocked by so many people. Right. I've been blocked by a lot of people. I was like, oh shit, did the Panthers block us too? I'm not blocked.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That, like, dude, I have more followers. I mean, I'm not trying to flex. I've got more followers than this person on Twitter. And, dude, I talk a gang of Matt Rhule and David Tepper.
Yeah.
So, I haven't been banned. Maybe it was and that's why I asked it, was there more than one person that we know of that this happened to? Maybe it was an accident. I don't know why they would single her out. I don't know, man. This is
if I'm not mistaken, wasn't there more than one person on that post that also, like, commented and say, yeah, they blocked me too, or something like that?
I think there was, yeah.
I thought so.
Sure.
This is not Lynn. This is not Legacy Lynn, by the way, folks.
No.
But it is interesting, and what is crazy is, to me, is that, like, for so long we thought of the Panthers' social media is so cutting edge and great.
Yeah.
And you wonder if things are so bad, like, has the entire organization kind of been tainted by the stink? Like, even to the point where the media, like, they're like, oh God, I don't want to answer the mailbag. I don't want to look at the Twitter no more. It's like,
do I have to?
Yeah, I don't know. But I really think that this is crazy, is to block a fan, no matter, I mean, unless they said something that was violent or, like, to the point of, like, violating Twitter rules. It just is a really, I just couldn't imagine an instance where that was enough. Because they don't got a problem if we hit hashtag Pro Bowl 900 times. And just mute it if you don't want to see it. Just mute it. That's what I would say. All right, let's go to the picks real quick. The Panthers play the Saints.
Yep.
I told. How did we do last week, Greg?
Cody probably destroyed everybody.
Well, let's see. After last week, go ahead. It's okay. Okay.
No, I was gonna say, did you get another call?
Yeah. Actually, thank you. Yeah, here. One last. It's short.
Chuck from Elizabeth City begged us to play his last call, so I'm assuming it's pretty good.
Yeah, this is Chuck from Elizabeth City calling, and I just got to take up for G Baby. He's one of the best callers you got in. Whether he bitches or complains, the guy just wants to win. So get off of the ball sack. And the other thing I got to say is, look, Tony, get with the program. Cody's trying hard. CK's got it going on. Greg's got it going on. Everybody's got the Civil War beard collection going on. We're waiting on you to jump on the bandwagon. Greg the Civil War beard. So far, Greg's in the lead. CK's in second. Poor Cody's in last. Tony,
I can't. Man, look, I tried to grow a mustache one time. It took me 2 months, and still, my wife goes, man, you're Joe, Joe Riolano. I mean, obviously, everybody knows that freaking Puerto Rican founder of the show with me. She goes, his 13-year-old boy has a better mustache than you. I look like a prepubescent Mexican.
But see, like, certain hairstyles work. Like, Greg Greg looks perfect with the beard and the mustache. Dude, it works for you. I can grow a beard like Greg and CK, but dude, it does not look good on me, bro. I feel like it just doesn't. It just doesn't fit my face. So
it takes work too. It doesn't just come naturally. Like it takes work.
Yeah. I must have like some Filipino in me or something. I think I must have some Filipino somewhere in me because I can't grow any facial hair. I can grow it below my neck and above my eyebrows.
He said Civil War beards.
I know, it's awesome.
Was hilarious.
All right, let's go to the picks real quick. What we do last week, Greg?
So Tony, you ended up being 2-1 last week. That brings you to 3-3 total. Cody, you were 2-1 last week as well. Brings you to 4-2 total. CK, you were 1-2 last week. That brings you to 3-3, and I was 2-1 last week, which brings me to 2-4.
Oh,
so
shit.
Right now, Cody's in the lead. CK and Tony are tied for second, and I'm bringing up the rear.
All right, Panthers and Saints. I said last week, and I don't know if it was on this show or if it was on Pirate Radio, but I'm not picking the if I said if we lose against the Giants, I'm not going to pick the Panthers again until they win a game. Like I just won't. So I'm picking the Saints.
What's the score?
Ooh, what's the score? I think it's 23-17 Saints.
Cody?
Yeah, I was on that before Tony was. I picked the Giants last week. I am also picking New Orleans, hopefully to end this misery. And I am going 27-14.
27-14?
This is a sad day. This is a sad day. I don't know if there's ever been a time on this podcast where the majority of us have picked against the Panthers, even in the worst times. Think about this. It's like we just pick them no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I so badly want to pick the Panthers, but I just
do it. Go with your heart, man.
In good conscience, I just can't. I you know what? I'm picking the Panthers. We're gonna win by 1. It's gonna be
New Orleans, okay?
It's gonna be 28-27 Panthers.
All right.
All right.
And I'm gonna go safe this week, and I'm gonna go New Orleans as well, and I'm gonna say 28-10.
Wow,
I'm gonna try my hardest to be the
that's a
last
Matt Rhule. Matt Rhule is gonna get run out of that. It's 28-10.
Yeah,
dude, over. We're gonna be talking about Matt Rhule being fired. He's gonna be fired like Herm Edwards in the end zone.
You can't say my guys are resilient after that. I'm sorry.
Hey, do y'all know every week so far, New Orleans has played a division team, so we've only picked 3 games every week so far.
Yeah, I know, it's 3 weeks in a row. Who we got next? Who's Tampa
Green
Bay?
Tampa Bay.
Oh, I'm going Green Bay here.
Yeah, I'm going Green Bay as well. They're not going to have Mike Evans.
Yeah, like everybody's hurt for Tampa. They haven't looked fantastic. They're 2-0 right now. And Green Bay, people are already giving up on them. Give me Green Bay. Who you got, Cody?
I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. I feel like everyone keeps predicting Tampa Bay is going to lose, and then they just don't. So I'm going Tom Brady and Tampa Bay.
I'm right there with you, man. I'm gonna go Tom Brady, Tampa Bay too. I think that's I don't know what it is, man. Tom Brady usually has Aaron Rodgers' number, doesn't he? I don't know what their head-to-head record is or head-to-head.
Do y'all think he's just stressed out or sick? Because people keep on posting that picture of him with like the sunken in face or something.
His
wife's not living with him right now, so they're definitely having some turmoil.
Is that confirmed? They're not living together?
Well, I heard
they might be making up a little bit, but that's pretty well confirmed. She did a GQ article about how it's been really tough for him not being there, and she wants him home or something like that. And
so he may be having some serious. This may be his last year. Whether
he's just trying to get as skinny as she is. They're both skinny motherfuckers.
Dude, it looks like Father Time just.
I think he's just
smacked him in the face over the.
I think he's a day walker, dude.
Maybe
somebody said that Satan actually back for the second half of his contract. That like now the Pipers do. He made a deal with the devil, and now his terms are expired, and now he's coming back.
I can see that. I think he's a day walker. I think he might be a vampire.
I don't know.
All right.
Next one's Atlanta, Seattle.
Great. Wait, did CK make a pick?
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Green Bay. I'm gonna say Green Bay.
Okay. So we're split. We're split on the diagonal here. Last game is what? Atlanta at Seattle?
Yeah.
I'm going feisty Atlanta on the road.
No, I'm going Seattle. Atlanta's going to keep on losing, and that's going to make it all the more embarrassing when they beat us.
How about you, Cody or CK?
I'm going Seattle. Geno Smith has actually looked pretty decent. And the way they just select the Broncos in week 1, I think that's more indicative of the team they are. So I'm going Seattle.
Okay. I'm actually going to go Atlanta here. I think Atlanta's an underrated team. They should have won the first game. They just did what Atlanta does, and they actually hung in there pretty good with the world champs.
Yeah.
Not
world. It was the Rams, wasn't it? Yeah,
Rams,
they gave them a run for them. A block kick at the end.
Drake London's for real. Like,
yeah,
this guy's. I drafted him, and he's for real. So,
right on.
I'm going
on. Kyle Pitts is not.
He's
struggling. He ain't getting nothing. Like everybody overdraft. I told y'all, be careful overdrafting them tight ends. Yeah. All right. Dan Floyd was across the pond. He said it was 5 a.m. Then he had to turn in. His ice up pick goes to President Biden for showing up late to the Queen Elizabeth's second funeral. I guess this would be for the world leaders. Cody, let's take us into the ice up picks, please.
Just not much, but the longest running segment on the longest running
longest podcast
on the internet. Guys, some fools up.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Ice Up segment is the longest running segment on the longest running Panthers podcast. That is actually the longest Panther podcast that you could possibly imagine. We're in hour 3 now, or 4, going into hour 4, I guess, whatever, 9, 10, 11. We're at midnight here. The Ice Up segment is our homage to Steve Smith, where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up to get it together. Everyone's fair game, from the president to a 12-year-old kid in Oklahoma. You guys want to go first this week? I feel like I always go first.
I don't know. Greg, you want to
go? Sure. Mine's real quick. Mine's not a tweet from Barstool Sports. I'm not icing them up. Just a tweet I saw from Barstool Sports. Retail shopping has changed quite a bit over the last few years. A lot more online shopping. And they let out the list of the top 10 online shopping sites for 2022. And most of them were pretty, I thought Amazon number 1, eBay number 3, Target, Best Buy. Long John Silver's is number 6.
Dang.
Long John Silver's.
They kicking ass, man. How is that an ice up? Who are you icing up?
I mean, okay, but I'm not yet. I haven't said number 2 yet.
Oh, okay.
Number 2 is OnlyFans.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the number 2 online shopping site in America for 2022 is OnlyFans. So I'm going to ice up Americans for that, because that's a lot of money spent on stuff you can get for free online anyway. And it's just crazy. So I'm icing up America for that one.
Dude, we're so horny, man. Super horned up. I mean, that's like an American thing, dude.
Wait, they're making millionaires, though. Seriously. That is.
You remember, you can join the YouTube version of OnlyFans called the C3 Super Fans for just $1.99. You won't get How about this? I promise to not show you any nudes. Promise.
Yeah. I mean, depending on who you are, you can make a lot of money on OnlyFans not doing.
Daniel Castro said gatekeeping porn.
That's true, yeah.
Man, what I hate about it is like, I mean, I don't know if I should, I've never been on, but hey, you know what? We're basically doing the same thing. We're prostituting ourselves in our own podcast way.
Yeah, we're not making $8,000.
It's like, I still just don't want to pay a 19-year-old girl $8 a month just to see silhouette. You know what? I'm too old. And
dude, do y'all remember the girl from Dr. Phil? Catch me outside.
Oh gosh, I've almost iced her up a few times.
Oh yeah, I like her. Is she on OnlyFans?
Dude, the day she turned 18, she was on OnlyFans. She is a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, she bought like a $6 million house like 3 months ago. It was all over. Like, it was crazy. She just did something the day she was going to ice her up for. I can't remember what it was, but I heard a story about her.
Is she?
She gave a speech. She gave a commencement speech at an Ivy League school. I can't remember which one it was, but I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Like, you've
Oh,
got to
God.
be kidding me.
And she said, "Catch me outside."
Yeah.
Really? And man, this
I'll
is
check it out.
look.
Yeah.
I work in academia. Go ahead, Cody. I know you need to ice some people up, but I tell you this: is academia is about to fall apart. The price point is about to meet to the point where these college people ain't gonna go no more.
Dude, if the Panthers don't get better, I'm gonna start making handicap porn, bro. Whatever. I'm gonna put it on OnlyFans, and I'm gonna be making a whole lot of money. And I'm gonna do it, dude. I'm not even playing. My ice up is a 32-year-old who somehow thinks a 19-year-old superstar rapper is gonna quit cheating on women for her.
Hell yeah. How hard it is for me to sleep. Oh, how hard it is for me to.
Who is it? Future?
No, NLE Choppa.
Yeah. And Space Research, because this was not my reality a week ago. I can't tell y'all how hard it is because I love so hard. And I love harder and harder and harder every time. And
So does he.
it hurts the most.
Yeah, right.
Because I really thought that I was gonna marry this man.
Bitch, what? For what? Why the hell did you think a 19-year-old rich-ass millionaire was gonna marry your 30 ass? What are you talking about? Like, dude, it amazes me. Okay, what 19-year-old superstar wouldn't have sex with every other hoe throwing themselves at him? Unless you're the Jonas Brothers with your purity ring or some bullshit. Dude, come on, man. Like, dude, if you're 32 years old and you think a 19-year-old multi-millionaire is going to marry you and put his life on the line for you, come on. And you made yourself look dumb as fuck on the internet, bro. Sorry, lady. Ice up.
Ice up.
This is crazy. This is awesome.
These superstars look like the same person.
I don't know. Yeah, both of them. That's messed up. All right, CK, what you got?
Mine is a literal ice up, and I don't know. I'm assuming all of you guys saw the hit that was it Dane Jackson from the Bills took from Jermaine Edmonds in that Bills game.
Oh yeah.
I actually didn't really see
his head went straight, but like, man, and look, he got folded.
This fact that this dude is walking is a fucking miracle.
It almost looked like his head was going to come off in the helmet.
I thought he was dead. I thought he was going to die. Like, I really, in my soul, like, I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, he's not alive anymore. I put it in the group chat. It's a TikTok that I sent to you. The group. I told everybody if you're not interested in watching it, don't.
Bad. It's bad, dude.
Bad. But I mean, for me, it's more of like an appreciation, but also an ice up at the same time. That dude, man, bro, that could have been the end of his career, and it may be. We don't know the extent of it. They say he avoided any major injuries. He walked out of the hospital. He had full movement in his extremities. He's home.
Yeah, man, he's alive, dude. We saw what was it, Shazier? Who was the guy from Pittsburgh? He can't even walk.
Yeah. So the fact that this dude is still walking is fantastic. I thought he broke his neck 100% too. Yeah, I thought it was.
And when we say broke his neck, we don't just mean like broke his neck, like what you would do to a chicken to kill it, like is like done. Like I mean, like
Cody
dangling by his skin only.
I just watched it. Oh,
yeah.
Watch it again.
You want me to play it?
No. I don't want. I don't want.
It's like watching a knee bend backwards. It just doesn't.
No,
it's
it's just a worse play. So man, good God.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, so that it's literal ice up, son, ice up, and I am fucking incredibly grateful, and I'm sure he is as well, that he was able to walk away from that with no major injuries.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so of course I can't ever make up my mind on just one ice up, so I'm gonna go through mine real quick. Number one ice up, or not number one, Browns fans, man, got no class.
No.
Take the comments down real quick, or change our angle here. This is them tailgating for the Jets game.
Mm-hmm.
And for y'all listening, not watching, they got a massage table out there, a mannequin with a big giant heart on underneath a little towel, and it says happy endings are not illegal. Like, so it's just like ridiculous. Browns fans, come on. Class up a little. My number 2 ice up pick goes to the Panthers. Actually, this probably is my number 1 is blocking fans. I'm not, man, how about this? Is Greg's over here talking about the only fans, and I'm talking about blocking fans. Panthers, that sucks. And then the last one, and let me see if I can just do it in this window. Which window am I in here? And that is, did you guys see? I saw this on the Phil DeFranco show today, and that is the Beyond Meat COO. So this Beyond, he's the COO for Beyond Meat, which is like that, like the meat made out of soybeans. And he got arrested. He got in a car accident after a football game, like in a parking lot in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And just a fender bender. And he gets out of the car and punches through the guy's back window. First of all, like some old, you want to talk about a Karate Kid, like the John Creasy punching through here. Then he pulls the guy out of his car and begins to get in a fight with him. And at one point bites his nose off, part of his nose off, the tip of his nose off. So this vegan Beyond Meat dude went cannibalistic. I don't know, is like, man, Beyond Meat, we got to start wondering if that is a treat that has the secret craziness in it. I don't know. So those are my ice up picks for the week, and I got a bazillion more to go because the world is ridiculous, and I want to ice up myself for taking the Panthers for the last 2 weeks. I want to ice up myself for, I don't know. I love all y'all guys. That's my ice up pick. Done. That's it. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you're going on like a streak for being a vegan, like say you're keeping a streak of how many days I've done it, does that break your streak?
I don't know. It's like, did he swallow? Did he spit?
I don't know. Weird. It's always the question.
That's the C3 Panthers podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. Every Tuesday night, we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective with the coolest fans on YouTube's. You can find us on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher. Support our sponsors, Manscaped. Promo code Panthers. Promo code
Panthers.
Promo code Panthers.
That sounds like our male strip team. The Panthers.
Oh, they're gonna change the Top Cats to the Manthers. Hey. You got the promo code Panthers on Manscaped, as well as C3 on Prize Picks. Remember, you can support the show by smashing the thumb, subscribing, checking us out on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcast. Leave a review. Say, hey, all the nice things you say in this chat, just leave a little review like that. And that helps us become a C3 super fan. Congrats to Panther Pickle. I hope you have fun at the game. I hope they win. I hope I'm wrong. Cody Lack, how can they get after you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. Tomorrow morning, there will be a brand new comment on drafttech.com for the Carolina Panthers, where I'm the analyst at drafttech.com. I write for the Houston Texans over there too, because they pay me to do so I do it. And you can find me on Twitter, like I said, at Cody Lack. I'm usually arguing, fighting about something, that's what I do, man. Hit me up.
CK?
You can find me at Codizzle Allen, and that's going to be at most social media, mainly Twitter, if you guys want to check me out there. Mainly, you're going to see me on this channel, along with these guys doing the Madden simulation, which I think this week was incredibly fun. I don't know how you guys felt about it, but you guys be on the lookout for that. I think we're going to try to do that potentially Thursday night this week. which you guys can give us your feedback on how that works out, as that might be in direct competition with Thursday Night Football, and with Amazon killing it and having the different products. I don't know how we're going to do that, if that's going to be an issue for everybody else. So yeah, just check us out there.
Oh, and last thing, Friday free for all, Friday 7 p.m. You can be a part of the show. You can join via StreamYard, come on the show, and Carolina Panthers, man. The Friday free for all, every Friday at 7 p.m. Keep pounding.
Somebody, I just saw a tweet that says Tom Brady looks like someone drew Kevin Bacon from memory. Oh, God, Greg, how can they get after you?
You can find me at the Bad Daddy 52 on Twitter is my personal handle. Check me out at GCS Podcast 1. That's my other show. We go live 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. It's Geeks Chasing Squirrels Across the Multiverse. We're talking about House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, Lower Deck, She-Hulk, and the highly anticipated Andor comes out this week. So Star Wars fans, get ready. It's going to be a really good one. But yeah, check us out. A lot of times these guys come on the show and hang out with us too. So I finished Cobra Kai. Actually, I got 2 episodes of Cobra Kai left. I'm going to watch those when we get in here. So
yeah, it's good. Yep. Good. Take us out of here, Cody.
All right, Panther Nation. Until this Friday, when we do our
Wednesday, tomorrow, beat check. We'll be here tomorrow, 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
Tomorrow, we got to be. Who's the guest we got tomorrow?
Alan Ulrich, Under the Dome podcast, previewing the Saints matchup.
Yeah, we're going to be previewing the Saints matchup tomorrow. That ought to be fun. And then the Friday free for all at 7. Until then, C3 Panther Nation, keep pounding.